Greetings, Earthlings, and humans, and others, clones, and doubles, and what have you. Actors, actresses, fakes, phonies, Democrats, Republicans, Marxists, socialists, crazies, what have you. As well as all animals who love the sound of my voice because they're far smarter than all the above, because animals actually have integrity and native intelligence, which has not been squandered. And they love my voice so much, it's soothing to them and uplifting. Please continue to send me pictures of your birds, cats, dogs, and other animals who are relaxing and having the time of their lives listening to my melodious voice, knowing that finally a voice of sanity has pierced this unified field of wall-to-wall, endless bullshit. Welcome to the Roseanne Barr Podcast.
Oh, you see, my patience is growing thin.
I prefer only to interview geniuses. And because they're the only people who are not boring and just sitting around parroting a strain of a virus, injected into them by the owners of the world, but they actually think. And, I pretty much think I've interviewed all of them, so I thought, well, let's have them on again. This is the first repeat genius who's been on the show.
Wow.
We're so excited. We love you so much. I'm going to get down to the nitty gritty of who is the real, who's behind Pimp on a Blimp. Alex Stein. Hello there.
Wow, Roseanne, that introduction, also being the only repeat guest so far, I feel so honored. And I'm not just saying that, I really do.
Well, thank you.
But
you are honored. It's definitely an honor for you.
Who is the real Alex Stein? That's actually a pretty hard question to answer because I feel like how the
No, who's the real Pimp on a Blimp? Well, I don't give a fuck about Alex.
That's what I'm saying. I'm the pimp on a blimp. Well, I was just going to say it's like how the caterpillar turns into the butterfly, right? I feel like I'm always in that changing process. But the Alex Stein, that guy's always changing. But the pimp on a blimp is primetime player, number one, rhyme sayer. I mean, you can't stop his shine. He's always on the grind. And I think we all need to have an alter ego. You love alter egos.
I do. I love him. And he's relentless and fearless.
And the catchphrases. People love catchphrases. Have you noticed that? Why is that? Get her done. Larry the
Get her done.
I'm just saying people love a catchphrase.
When it hits.
It hits.
Oh, it just sticks around.
It does.
Like my domestic goddess thing, that still hits.
Yeah, people love it.
And Suck My Cock, which was your first one.
Yeah, that was my big claim to fame there.
Yeah, well.
I should, we were talking about I should do my own, was it Budweiser commercial?
Yeah, Bud Light. You got to do the transgender version.
And I was going to say that, now I forgot.
What was the joke you took?
It was going to be something like, they always told me, I was going to slam down a couple Bud Lights and go, they always told me, hey, Roseanne, you're not very feminine. Suck my dick. That should be what I do for Budweiser to bring them back.
Bud Light.
Or whoever it is.
No, but you need to do it because Dylan Mulvaney's a guy wearing, woman face. So you need to be a female doing male face.
I know, because I was the first female artist to, Lucy did portray Charlie Chaplin, but remember in my third episode, I was in drag and went in the male bathroom on the Roseanne show.
The beard and
everything. See, you even addressed the whole bathroom situation, which is where we're at now today.
Right.
It's like one of the biggest political issues is can men in a dress go pee in the women's restroom? But isn't it funny though how
I just remember that back from the days when the lesbians would go in the men's bathroom and jack them off into a turkey baster to take home and get their girlfriend pregnant.
That's true.
I know. That's what I heard. Is that how they would steal guys' semen? Or they would sleep with them?
Well, they wouldn't steal it. They'd ask them, hey, buddy.
You
need a buck.
In their flannel.
No, someone got the best. Like somebody in my family, I won't mention who, my lesbian sister, but she and her partner went to a genius bank, and they pick the sperm donor for their lesbian twin daughters.
Have you heard at the sperm bank, if you have unvaccinated semen, your semen's worth like 10 times the amount?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I knew this
Yeah.
shit would come in handy.
Yeah, that's what they said. The unvaccinated sperm is more expensive than the vaccinated sperm.
But I wouldn't let my sons do that because I don't want to think, I don't know what's going on with my grandkids with some hoe raising their ass or something.
Wait, who'd your sister pick though? They had to have a catalog, and
They
had
did.
they had like Harvard, Yale,
No,
Princeton.
well, they went to the Middle East because we
What?
wanted to get our people's sperms.
Whoa, that's really deep. Okay, so they went to a Middle Eastern place.
Yeah,
And did they have like a book of
yeah,
that you got to choose?
Was this the highest IQ in the Middle East, or
yeah.
Yeah.
A genius from, I won't say which Arab-run heist.
So you're telling me they got the smartest Arab guy they could?
Well, Jewish
Yeah.
in, Middle Eastern Jewish.
And then they.
They didn't go there looking for Leibowitz.
But how did
You
they?
know what I mean?
Yeah, but how did they pick which
They
one?
picked a Sephardic Jew.
was it like a sperm bank? I didn't.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never known that. Okay,
But it was also a genius
they
sperm.
kept the IQ
Yeah.
of the.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then how did they pick which?
Now they think that same guy may have fathered like 171.
Probably
That's
so.
usually
how
You
it
always
goes.
hear that where like there's
Yeah.
a guy that has 200 babies because they,
Yeah.
or there's a doctor at the fertility clinic that would just use his own semen
Mhm.
for it all, and he got arrested because he
I
had like,
remember
Really?
that.
yeah, he had like 250 babies.
God, and they probably all married each other.
That actually happened. That's one of the things is two of the like a guy and a girl connected, and they found out they had the same DNA. That actually has
I hope they
happened.
got sterilized. I mean, vaccinated.
I don't know, but
Same thing.
same
Uh-oh,
thing.
that's where I got
I know.
demonetized for that joke.
Yeah, they don't like the-
YouTube, they're nothing but commies, right?
Well, they're the worst, but we want to say that the vaccine is so safe and effective. Thank you, YouTube. We love it, Dr. Fauci. If you say that, that sometimes covers you, even though there's no long-term testing.
You mean Mr. Science that never? What is the foundation of science? I ask you, Alex. It's use of a control group,
exactly right.
which Fauci never did. So, what kind of science is he talking about? That black magic Babylonian science shit?
Well, I think we were the control group, right?
Yeah.
This last
That's
time,
right.
that was the science experiment. Did you see?
That's right. Oh my God, you just put it brilliantly.
Well,
Brilliantly.
but he just got out of the hospital from having West Nile virus. Dr. Fauci did. Did
Oh,
you see
really?
that?
No,
Yes,
I
he
didn't know that.
He was in the hospital for 8 days. They didn't say anything.
Really?
And that,
Oh,
yes, and
man.
now
West Nile?
West Nile.
I wish
and
I knew that. I
which
would have
is such-
prayed for him to die.
yeah, pray for him to not
Yeah.
make it.
Oh, don't say that.
I know.
You
I don't
can't
want
wish
anybody
that
to
on
die.
people.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh no, that's up to the Lord.
Yeah, I don't.
So
wish
you
that.
have to say, "Dear God, kill Fauci. Thank you." That's how you have to say it.
Well, he made it, but I don't know, Dr.
This time.
Fauci. It's just weird. That's one thing. Listen, I love Donald Trump, voting for Donald Trump. Why did Donald Trump trust Dr. Fauci, do you think?
Because, this is what me and Bobby Kennedy Jr. was talking about, and I says, he goes, "Why did he hire this guy in Bolton and this guy?" And I go,
Yeah.
"I don't think he was hip to their malevolence. Who would be?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Yeah, maybe so." And I go, "But I think he might be now."
Yeah, he is now. He better
That's
be.
what Bobby said too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he might be now.
Well, and this is the thing, and I'd like to get your opinion. You know, we have the illusion that the president has so much power, but the CIA has to sit him down. Just
Not
like
if you keep him in a bubble,
but-
protected, as they say, 24/7.
Well, it's like the Bill Hicks joke where he talks about how as soon as you get elected to president, you know, you go into a room and they show you the JFK. I feel like that's kind of true.
No, he says they show you the
The Zapruder, the other Zapruder
Zapruder,
that nobody
the
one
saw.
no one saw.
the
yeah.
one that, from a different angle.
Yeah.
And boom.
And
his-
they
say-
go, "Any questions?"
Yeah. Follow the liner. This will be you.
And I feel like that's true.
I think so too. They're all playing a role.
And Donald Trump, like, is a great leader. I would never count him out. I mean, he's a champion, but also he is going to protect himself if the CIA, if he's
Of
worried
course.
if he's worried about being killed. But then he gets almost assassinated, and that is the CIA. That's the FBI. I mean, it's just such BS. You're telling me the one angle towards the president that a gun could shoot him at is not covered by
Right.
Secret
It
Service?
was
I
outside
mean,
the security perimeter.
Yeah,
It's like
and
a
then-
Pac-Man circle.
it makes no sense. The guy's walking around with no guns, and then all of a sudden he has a viewfinder or, huge gun. none of it makes sense.
Well, he had no social media presence. They
It
knew
makes
about him for
total
20
sense.
minutes.
That's what
yeah,
people
it
always
makes
say.
complete sense. Thank you.
That's why I feel like they've called me crazy my whole life because I can't lie
Mm-hmm.
because I forget what I said. But since I had a car accident and it tore out part of my brain, I can't remember what. I can't lie. I have total recall.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to say what I saw because it's imprinted. So,
It makes perfect sense. You're saying about Thomas Crooks.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if you look at what happened, like a scientist, you just examine evidence,
Well, and it's
and
weird.
then you make a graph,
Right.
and then you go, okay, here's the trajectory of that bullet and where it hit. Here's the trajectory of the bullet that killed that firefighter.
I
Mhm.
never can say his name right. Also, he had offshore accounts. He had no social media
Talking
presence.
about Thomas
Yeah.
Crooks had offshore accounts. Yeah, he had no social media, and then he's wearing a Demolition Ranch shirt, and that he had registered
saw a video
Republican.
of
He
That's
was in
him.
a BlackRock commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, what are the
I
chances
saw a
he's in a
video of
BlackRock?
him right after it happened
That
because I'm
wasn't him.
on it. I'm crazy on the internet,
Yeah.
because I have no life.
No, you're great on the internet.
I
You're all
fucking
on
am,
it. Yeah.
except for don't ask me how to send a file or any of that shit, but or how to open a file. But anyway, so it was a video of him. Somebody sent me, and he was saying, "Yeah, you're all looking for me, but I'm not the guy you."
Yeah, that wasn't him. That was another guy.
Oh, it
I
was.
told you. Yeah. But here's
But
the
he's
thing.
a patsy. We know he's a patsy.
That's what I'm saying. It
Well,
makes
that's
perfect
what
sense.
I thought he was saying.
Yeah.
So maybe that other guy who was being him knew. I mean, he's another fucking.
I think that other guy was just
he's
cloud
he's,
chasing.
he's the Patsy star in Jerry Lewis.
But Trump was
Did you ever
supposed-
watch that Jerry Lewis
They were
movie,
supposed
The
to kill
Patsy?
Trump that day, 100%.
Yeah, I've never seen the patsy, but I love Jerry Lewis. I mean, he was great.
You kind of remind me of him in your questionings on the streets. I have to say, I see a bit of the old Jerry Lewis in there.
Wow, what
I
an
do
honor!
because I really love Jerry Lewis.
He was so funny. And then, but what is that? Was it a Jerry Lewis movie? What's the movie that's about to be released? About Here Comes the Clowns. Do you know the movie I'm talking about?
His Holocaust movie.
Yes, Holocaust.
Are
movie.
they going to release it?
Well, he donated it to a museum, and it's supposed to. It's not fully edited, but the majority of the movie is supposed to come out in 2024, and it was about a clown during the Holocaust. Yeah, would try to, and the movie never came out, but the clown was supposed to trick the kids. He got arrested and was in the concentration camps, but he wasn't Jewish, and so he was an actual clown. So in the movie, he tries to trick the kids. He didn't really want to do it, but he tries to trick the kids into going into the gas chambers.
Sounds hilarious.
It sounds hilarious. I know. It's supposed to
Only
be.
Jerry could do it. He's like, "Hey kid, come
Goes
on
on.
this way."
And the reason why it's
Yes.
called The Day the Clown Cried is because once Jerry Lewis gets the kids in there, he's supposed to be this clown. He starts crying because he realizes what he did.
Hey, it's already been done with that Italian dude.
Which one?
He won an Academy Award for it.
Roberto Benigni.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie. Life
Too
is
bad he
Beautiful.
stole from Jerry before Jerry put it out.
Yeah, he did. He did. That was actually basically the same plot. Where
Yeah. God, he was great in that movie. Life is Beautiful. One of my favorite movies next to Planet of the Apes. Kind of the
Planet of
very
the
same
Apes.
movie if you think about it. Both about fascism
Yeah. And
and cataloging humans. They're the
Planet-
same movie in a different way. All about communism, fascism, taking over humans.
Were you happy that the latest Planet of the Apes movie have done so bad? They've
I didn't
done
even
bad.
know it came out.
I boycott it and girl caught it both. But I wanted to write the final chapter because I was such a fan of that movie. And, Dr. Zira, which was the irony of ironies, because she was like the only
Good
ruling
person.
class person, or ape, whatever, hybrid. She was the only thing in the power structure that said, if humans can speak, we should listen. And she upset all science. She was like a force for good, all
Mhm.
through it. And because she was a mother. So that's proof that I would never equate Valerie Jarrett to anything good. right?
And Valerie Jarrett looks identical to the characters. That's-
Doppelgangers, separated at birth, twins, identical
I mean,
to a
identical.
T.
And that's just, I mean, we don't have to go back into that you got canceled for that. But she
We'd love
literally,
to.
You know who else looks like? I told Jake this, but Jake goes, "Mom, don't say it. You're already in trouble
Oh God,
for
make
saying
an
this
edit.
about women of color, saying they look like animals." But everybody looks like an animal. Okay, then only white people evolved from apes. Okay, I'll say it. Only white people evolved
Yeah.
from apes. But Kamala looks like a camel.
she does.
She looks like Joe Camel. Remember Joe Camel that they was trying to brainwash all the kids to be sexy, and then they uncovered that Joe Camel, his face was nothing but his nose was a penis,
Oh, there's multiple
his
penis
chins
vaginas,
was balls, and they said this is
and this was a vagina with the cigarette. Was
Yeah.
a penis going in a vagina?
remember they
yeah, if you look at it,
exposed them?
it looks exactly like a penis and
Exactly, 'cause
balls.
they were
Subliminal
trying to
advertising. They got busted.
use whatever it is that
Subliminal advertising.
subliminal advertising to get kids to want to smoke
Mhm.
camels. And I says, that's proof even more that it looks like Kamala, a dick and balls right in her mouth. Are you shitting me? It looks exactly like Kamala.
That's exactly right. Right
Right?
on brand for her, Willie Brown.
Oh.
But what's also weird is that cigarettes supposedly cause impotency, and if you look at it, it is a limp penis.
It's limp as
it's
shit.
limp. It's
Yeah.
like they're telling you if you smoke this, you're gonna have a limp wiener.
Oh, maybe that's what they were saying. Because, those people are going for depopulation, cutting off boys' dicks, turning them into eunuchs, turning girls into, you know why they want girls to cut off their breasts? It just occurred to me.
Why?
So they'll make better bus boys.
Well, no, but you are right that this is a dehumanist agenda. Like
It's a class war.
they don't want people to procreate, so that's why they want to get kids on these hormones. But what's sad is you saw in the boxing, they had Amin Khalif and this Lin Yu Ting, who both had XY chromosomes, male chromosomes, but they won the Olympic gold.
Yeah.
Because they say that they're women, but they're born intersexed. So there are some people that are born
Mhm.
intersex that have weird genital.
That's not the same
But they
thing.
didn't check her genital.
They
his
never
genitals.
checked, their
Right.
genitals, but they have the XY chromosome, so it would
That's
tell
a-
you that that's a guy.
Yeah.
You know? But my point is that it's sad that there is.
It's like called the X Factor for a reason.
Why?
Because the X Factor is female. That's what this whole fucking age is about.
Hmm.
Fuck the why. Why? Why not?
That makes sense.
This is the age of the female rising. And,
You're talking biological female or the man dressed as a woman female?
Yeah, because which one?
well,
it's
of course,
confusing
men
now.
want to be with what's cool and sexy and smart. And they want to, be as they always were. In all goddess culture was always like the gay men that pretended they were women, the drag queens and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that were just on the fringes of the culture, but they were, just with other men. Only a few of them were allowed in where the women were, but they think they got the right to tell the women, oh, no, that isn't how woman rule works. So, see, you're not on the woman's side. You're on the man's side coming in here. Just want to sniff my underpants when I'm in Walmart taking a big greasy shit.
I think this is a good time for an ad, right?
Yeah,
here.
it's a great time.
Hey, let's do that real quick. TWC, Mom, ready?
Huh?
The wellness company. We all know and love them. That's the one that sends your medical kits.
What?
Yeah,
I'm
the
so happy
wellness
we're doing
company.
it.
They're
Oh.
great. They're
Mom,
one of
the
best
greasy
out there.
shit.
Not for mental health.
But hold on, I'm going to
Okay.
cue you. So I don't know if you know this, Alex.
What?
Monkeypox is having big breakouts. and-
Resurgence right now, yeah.
And it is an election year. So TWC, I don't know if you know this company, but they're great. Dr. McCullough, Dr.
Oh,
Drew
yes.
found-
Very
okay.
familiar with the wellness
So basically,
company.
they give you this emergency kit.
Why do
you
they
keep
call
in
it
your pantry.
monkeypox?
It's just what it's called, but it's
Oh.
usually
Seems racist when they
It
call
does.
it.
well, it's actually a disease that's more communicable to anal sex.
yeah, it
which is why gays
Oh,
get
that's
it
where
more.
AIDS
and,
come from, was fucking the monkeys.
and dogs. There's a dog with two gay dads that had it around his butthole. That's another
So
story. we can
monkeypox
cover.
is like diet AIDS in a way.
It is, but anyway, we gotta. What I'm saying is, you buy these medical emergency kits and you keep it on hand. It's got, Mom will tell you the
Everything's so
drugs it's got.
ridiculous.
It's got ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, or however you say it. But anyway, you buy it, you keep it, you store it, and if shit happens, because monkeypox is probably going to happen, it's an election year, they're going
Yeah.
to do it again. You got to have your medicines on hand. So,
I
Mom,
mean,
tell the people.
Okay, I will tell the people, but I just have to say,
Yeah.
how wrong is it that they are just thinking they can get away with unleashing one plague after another on the voters
Because they get away with it.
and
Well, I think-
thinking the voters are going to continue to vote for them?
Well, and
What?
I think they wanted the plague to be much worse. They just, they want
Yeah.
monkeypox to be worse. It's just they can't figure out how to make it.
They want mail-in ballots. Is what they want.
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
that's how
but
they
they
cheat.
ain't going to get them.
Tell the people where to go, and then we'll get
The
back. to
contagion emergency kit from the Wellness Company comes packed with ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, Z-Pak, Tamiflu, budesonide,
Good
and
shit.
a nebulizer all in one kit.
Yeah.
Bypass woke doctors, the bane of existence, and skip the pharmacies denying people these life-saving medications. With just a few clicks, the kit is delivered to your front door. Don't be left stranded when the next crisis bites. Act now. Go to twc.health/RB and grab your contagion emergency kit right now. Use the code RB to save $30 at checkout. That's twc.health/RB and use code RB to save $30 at checkout. Remember, these kits are limited and only available in the USA.
Thank you. So greasy shit at Walmart we were at.
Yeah,
Well, Dr. McCullough, though.
because one
is a great
time
guy.
I
Yeah,
was...
he's going to come on. I'm very excited.
What?
Dr. McCullough is a great
Oh,
guy.
That's
that's
his company.
great.
He's a good
American
guy.
hero, as far as I'm concerned.
Because
So
everything is going to... They're going to find out ivermectin cures everything. It
They say it
does.
helps with cancer. They say,
Yeah.
I mean,
It
you
won
know,
the Nobel Peace Prize for medicine.
And Nigeria had a lower COVID mortality rate than the United States of America. And there they take it, as a standard operating procedure.
Control group, right?
Yeah, like exactly right. That was the control group.
That's
or
why they
we're
were
the control
pissed.
group, however you want to
Right.
choose it. But this was the vaccine rollout that they just had was a complete experiment. And that's why I think a lot of people got the vaccine are totally fine because they got a placebo.
Mhm.
And they have these certain batch numbers. Certain people got certain ones in certain areas. I know that sounds kind of vague.
No,
but
it's
they-
true.
It's
Yeah,
true.
that's
And
true.
red states had a higher problem.
Whatever, yeah, exactly
No,
right.
that's true.
And so there's just there was a lot of science behind it. And then they even said that while they were doing the rollout, they were changing the ingredients. And because they had the emergency use authorization, there's nobody else to check and
Mhm.
see, what's going in it. They just had carte blanche to basically inject us with whatever they thought would work.
Yeah, I think it was a test to see how it would react. 100%.
Yeah. And we reacted terribly. Like
We
people
failed.
miss the pandemic. People want the pandemic to happen again.
Why?
She does. Mom does.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think it's just because
Well, why?
You love the pandemic. You talk about your grandkids never came over. It's all your jokes from your act. I'm
Well,
sorry.
but no, that was the quarantine. I don't
That's-
want another pandemic. Hell no.
You want quarantine to come
I
back.
just like the quarantine because nobody visited. I was all by myself. I didn't have to cook for nobody, clean for nobody, pick nobody.
such a great cook, guys. People don't realize people were
Oh
sleeping.
yeah, go talk about that.
Roseanne can cook. She made this baba ganoush that was, it
was
was
phenomenal.
so delicious with what was even in the baba ganoush? Tomatoes and what was in that?
Eggplant.
Eggplant.
That's eggplant. It was so
Fire roasted eggplant.
good. It was so good.
Wasn't it good?
It really was.
I have to say I was very proud of that.
With the hummus and the pita. It was. Do not sleep on Roseanne Barr's
You didn't
cooking.
say anything about my jug.
The jug was good. I'm just saying.
I wish I had a finer grater on my
You can get the food processor.
I thought it was grated
Yeah.
very small. I thought it
I
was
made
fine.
pesto, which you haven't eaten yet, but no, I didn't think the parsley got grated fine enough
We'll have to do
for
it.
my jug.
Can we get back to the Thomas Crooks
Oh,
thing or
Yes.
no?
well, we were talking
or
about
no.
the trans.
Thank you, by the way, for liking my.
Yeah.
It was delicious. I know, but
What do you think the cucumbers and tomato with garlic?
I thought it was really good. I thought I love cucumbers. So
What do you think of the red?
the pest or the hummus, the red pepper hummus.
Uh-huh.
It was
That was the best part.
that was the best
tomato
part,
paste?
and the pitas were perfectly warm. It was very good. But wait, I want to go back to the trans thing. What do you think about how they worship the devil and they have Baphomet that has like the female breast
Mhm.
and the male torso, and then they have the abortion clinic outside of the DNC, which is like Moloch sacrificing babies to Moloch.
Yeah.
So I think all of this has this weird satanic
Well, it's
origin.
well, it's like this. They figured out Satanism can pay if you call it a corporation. See, they can't really call it a religion, although they've been trying to do that in the military for a long time.
Well, they had Anton LaVey, who was
Yeah.
a big time military guy. It wasn't just him, and I forget the other guy. They've had serious.
Yeah, I used to know his name
Carl.
too.
What was that guy's name? I'm just saying they've had high up military people that were
See
actual
his name.
Satanists.
Yeah, especially the last one, which I can't remember his name,
But
but
what do you think-
everybody knows his
But
name.
they all love Aleister
the
Crowley.
mustache.
They all love Aleister Crowley in Hollywood and stuff. Do you think that they're doing that because they're actually worshiping the devil, or are they just doing that to be cool and hip? Or do you think they are really doing like satanic stuff in order to, I guess, break the lining between us and the afterlife? That's what they say.
Well, they fancy themselves boundary breakers.
Mhm.
And so when you get into, like, you really have to decode language, you know, which I've always had to do my whole life being me.
Yeah.
But I listen deeply to what people say, you know, real deep.
Yeah.
And yeah, they fancy, and also if I wasn't a huge sexual international
Icon.
superstar and icon, I probably would have been a forensic psychiatrist and working at Quantico.
Yeah.
Quantico. I'm so fascinated by data, how they compile data.
What does the breaking boundaries language mean?
Well, rebels, they fancy themselves as sort of pirates that break boundaries. So think of it. Let that just go in there a
I
minute.
have a
And
theory. I think I know where you're going.
yeah,
You want to say
you
it?
don't say no more. You need to say no more.
You have to say it because I don't think he knows
Yeah, I
what
don't
we're
know.
talking
What
about.
are you saying?
Kids' buttholes.
That's
Huh?
what they're obsessed with, obviously.
That's what I'm going with. Little kids' buttholes.
Breaking boundaries.
Breaking buttholes, is that what?
Breaking boundaries.
Molestation.
It does always seem to come down to that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is weird.
And that's the big secret. Oh, of secret societies and secret religions and
Yep.
secret cults. It seems to be the big secret is breaking the boundaries of children's bodies.
Yes.
Well, you say that.
That's why it continues. And then you build a justice system to enable it.
Well, there's Jimmy Seville. It's not a
Case in point.
there's a great documentary, but it's really
I've seen
sad.
it.
The Ninth Circle of Hell, and they would talk about how he was a porter at the Royal Children's Hospital, and this guy Jimmy Seville, for
Yeah.
people that don't know, Savile, I think I always say it wrong, Jimmy Savile. He actually
Great friend of the royal family.
the best friend. He was knighted by the Queen.
He was like the U.S.'s Bob Hope.
Exactly right. He was one of their biggest broadcasters. Had a show called The Top of the Pops. But he was so sick that he would volunteer as a porter at the Royal Children's Hospital and steal bodies from the morgue
From the morgue.
and steal children. You don't know about Jimmy Savile?
I do. I didn't know about them. I know
This,
he's
but
a
yeah,
pedo.
this one at the morgue. This got exposed
Morgue.
where they would steal. He would say that he was volunteering at the morgue, and they especially wanted children's bodies at the morgue. And then they would take it on a boat, and they would drink its blood, and then they would just throw it in the ocean. They would do blood ritual magic. You know,
Does that stuff still work on a corpse?
I don't know. They do like the adrenochrome.
Like
'cause-
Jake's like, hey, when I've done it, we never.
Yeah,
you know.
usually you need a fresh body.
well, that's what I'm saying, because that's why they want to scare you, because
Mhm.
you have the adrenalized blood. It has.
That's what they want.
they want. They don't want
That's
just
a
regular blood.
vampire's serum.
Yeah.
They want the adrenalized blood.
That's why we have the stories about
Yes,
vampires.
I would thank you.
Yeah,
That
you're
is.
right.
That's where the lore comes
And
from.
that is
Thank
what
you.
the Golem of Prague is about.
And that's what Monsters Inc. was about. That
Yeah,
movie was
scare the
Monsters
kids.
Inc. was
Yeah.
literally about scaring kids so you can get their adrenochrome.
So you believe in the adrenochrome? I do.
oh,
too.
I do believe
It's
that.
true.
yeah.
I believe in
Bathe
it.
in the blood of virgins.
And I-
Hello, what does that mean?
Yeah,
And I think, like, let's
virgin
say,
sacrifice.
let's say it doesn't have this super.
It's how you get to the top of the hill.
yeah, well, I don't know how much.
How
it-
you get jumped into the game.
Yeah, I think so too.
yeah, but I think it gets you high too. Like, I'm sure it has
Oh, yeah,
anti-aging
they
benefits.
say it does.
Yeah, I bet it
It's the
makes
fountain-
you feel.
fountain of
Yeah,
youth,
you
a lot
It's
of
the
feel.
fountain of youth, they say.
A
Yeah,
lot of people
so
say that is the-
Adrenalized young blood. You can get it. You can go to. Well, they say that
you
Keith
can buy
Richards
adrenochrome.
had
it's
his
synthetic.
blood supply totally drained out and that put in.
Who?
Well, they do that. It's called the
Yeah.
blood. They have a blood boy where these
Yeah.
Silicon Valley CEOs will pay a young person to just do a blood
Yeah.
transfusion with them. So that's real. These
Yeah.
people
They
are.
do that. then they're like, hey, do you have any sisters that want to be get pregnant from my yoga going surrogate wife, loving one, and have a baby fifth wife?
Yeah, Alec Baldwin and his 12 kids.
Yeah, they're like 6 months apart.
Yeah, how does that even
You
happen?
know what I said to him? I seen him in
Allegedly.
that. I like him in spite of his ridiculousness.
He was great on 30 Rock. He's a great actor.
He's a great comic actor.
He was
Yeah.
nice to you in person, and that goes a
He's
long
always
way.
been nice to me. But I seen him there in Beverly Hills, and I go up to him and I go, I always call him Alex.
He probably hates
He
that.
hates it, but he lets me do it. I go, hey, Alex, snip, snip, baby.
Yeah, he needs
Your
that.
kids, you're going to be 90 when your kids are fucking, going
5
to,
years old.
when they're
There's
going
like
to
30 of them.
kindergarten.
Yeah.
And they're going to be embarrassed. Has no one told you this?
Mhm.
And he's like, no one has. Let me take a mental note. Snip, snip, 90s, kindergarten. Thank you.
He also said, do you remember
He
he
was
was
really
like,
funny.
That's funny.
No,
That
he
is
was
funny.
funny.
That is funny.
he said like, he also said under his breath, I remember I was there with you, about his wife was like completely crazy and he had no say in it. He was like, I know. She wants babies. Like she's the one.
She
running
wants
that show.
those babies.
He looks so
Well, yeah.
tired.
He has her back no matter what, because when she got canceled,
He loves her.
He loves her because when she got
Well,
canceled,
she's Hispanic. And
Yeah.
He loves that pure Hispanic.
yeah, she's so Hispanic. Yeah, right.
She's not Hispanic.
no,
he's
she's
gonna
fake.
tell the story.
Well, what do you-
She's got to be a Jew to have that
No.
kind of power over a white man.
I think she grew
She
up
got
in
busted.
Massachusetts
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, going to an
She's
prep
got Jewish
school.
blood. She's doing the whole lesbian witch Hollywood publicist controlled coven thing with Hillary Clinton.
She is doing a coven. That is what
I
they're doing.
know.
You're what? But what do you think about this? You've been on set with armories with guns and stuff. How could a movie set let a person get shot when they take every precaution?
No, they don't.
They don't.
I remember when the asshole I was married to, fat ass, what's his name?
Tom Arnold.
Yeah. I was married to fat ass.
Badass Tom Arnold, liar Tom Arnold.
Little girl.
Yeah.
Little fucking whiny ass girl. They don't like me. It just makes me upset. I don't know. Sometimes I just have that feeling like nobody really likes me.
That was true.
Well, you know why, Tom? Because you're a fucking dick.
Yeah.
You
What do you
can't
think they
treat
said-
people like shit like that. But then I'd be like, also I'd work them like, hey, that fucker said you was, I shouldn't say. I wish I did say, because I would not do good in prison. Like I love that show, Orange is the New Black, because I'd be that bitch in prison. We've got to remove such and such. When she's in the laundry, I want you to.
86er.
Yeah.
Well, I have to ask you this. I'm going to forget my train of thought. What do you think? Do you think Tom Arnold, when he saw that Arnold Schwarzenegger had a kid with the nanny, do you think that he called that out, or do you think he just let it go? Because they had to notice that the nanny's kid looked exactly.
I wondered that
They had
too.
to notice that the kid looked exactly like Arnold at a very young age, and that was like his lifelong nanny.
Well, he's like in the Brotherhood,
yeah, he knew about it.
He's
from
like,
Yeah.
wink, wink. Yeah, we all fucked the maid. The maid, the yoga instructor, the gardener's sister.
They
We
just-
fucked
they
whoever
them
was
all.
there.
Yeah, you're right.
Whoever was there, we fucked them.
I just love how Arnold. Well, this is what makes me so mad. At least Arnold took credit for his kids. Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, he had a kid in Little Rock, Arkansas, 30 years ago. Made the kid sign an NDA that they could never say that he's a father.
Oh, no.
She came out and said he's a father. Then he resued her, and they settled out of court. Yeah, he tried to get the money back for her, but he doesn't deny she's his kid. So how do these people like Joe Biden is the president of the United States? He has a granddaughter.
Yeah.
He's never ever acknowledged. I think now he's acknowledged her in one Christmas post, but he literally hung 6 stockings when he has 7 grandchildren.
Yeah.
These people are evil. He has all the money in the world. He should be proud to have a granddaughter, even if it was with a stripper whore. That's neither here nor there. The baby deserves some respect.
I agree.
Well, the ones he likes was the dead son's widow fucking the other
Yeah,
guy. He
that-
had no problem with that.
They could care less that Hunter Biden's banging his brother's widow. I mean, that is this most.
That's
disgusting-
family. That's family stuff.
They love it. They keep it. Well, that's why they say
What
the
about
royal.
Ashley saying, "I'm afraid my dad's gonna try to get in the shower with me"?
No, he did get in the shower.
He did.
Well,
yeah.
he did, but
But she
they
was
go,
there at the
that's
DNC.
phony, just like her brother's laptop. The Russians are.
No, she said
The
the
Russians
diary
are-
is real.
Yeah, that was so fake.
Oh,
The diary's real.
The
She said
diary's
it.
real,
No,
but I
she
just
said
can't
it.
believe they said that was Russian disinformation.
They raided O'Keefe's house when he
I
had
mean,
it. They fucking FBI raided him just like they.
We had pictures of Hunter Biden's penis. I mean,
Yeah.
like, how could that be
No,
Russian?
I'm talking about the
watched all
diary,
those.
not-
I wanted to see what was going on there.
He had a big.
I like that when he's with that Chinese girl who gets the part as Mulan shortly after when she's doing a Kamala Harris thing on him.
Is that realrawnews.com?
No,
Well, so one of the people, one
every
of the girls he
hairdresser
dated.
I never
in
heard- we've never
Hollywood
heard
knows
that.
I
the
know that
story.
he said something. He didn't want any Chinese women, or
Yeah.
there's a weird text, and he was saying the N word in all these texts.
Oh, yeah.
messages.
He was actually pretty
to his
cool.
own lawyer, to a black lawyer,
Yeah.
supposedly. Supposedly he sent the N
Well,
word.
he got the N-word pass from the black lawyer.
Uh-huh.
Can I say that he's like, I can say the N-word, right? Because I'm giving you $3 million
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah.
That's probably what all
It's
he
like, you can
wanted.
call me whatever you want. I mean, that's what I would say if I was an attorney making that much money. But yeah, the Biden, I honestly, though, even though I hate Joe Biden's politics, I think he's less bad than Barack Obama for some reason.
I agree. Because he's in a crime family, but it's pretty overt. He doesn't try and hide
like,
it.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think
Obama's way more sinister and hidden.
Obama's way more sinister and cunning. I think Joe
agree.
Biden is just kind of a.
He's a small town mafiosa. That's what I say.
Yeah, like he actually, I feel like he still kind of likes America, right? Like I do believe that Joe Biden, like we know Donald Trump loves America.
Well, they've convinced Biden. He's got that Democrat thing where it's like, I'm for the underdog, unless they want me to raise their pay.
No way. You're right about that. He's all for the
It's all
underdog, unless it's
bullshit.
time to help him, and then he's
Yeah.
like, oh,
It's like,
can't.
hey, I'm a corporate man. And there's nothing democratic about a corporation. And I run a corporation. And I've got to have this many token seats filled by imbeciles that'll, do what they're asked to do by the people who own me.
Well, you're exactly right, because America is not really a country; we're more of a corporation.
Yeah, that's what we are.
It's fascism, and the
It
definition
is.
of fascism is a merger of corporation and state, and that's where we're at. During the pandemic, all of a sudden,
The
Pfizer.
pandemic was that.
Yeah, that is, that was.
Well, it all comes out of the Patriot Act, that was it.
That's exactly right. And they had the Project for a New American Century before 9/11. I'm just saying they wanted to have this control where we have no freedom. They can do warrantless search and seizure of our emails or phone calls.
In our bank account.
And our bank accounts. So that's really where we're
Social
at.
Security number.
We live in a corporation. We don't live in a country.
No, it's like The Firm, that Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
like
it is.
Ned Beatty and Network.
Greatest scene of all time.
Well,
Don't you understand?
You are messing.
There are no countries.
Yeah.
I love that part. I had him on my show as a guest star, Ned Beatty there.
Yeah.
he's great.
Yeah, he goes into the wardrobe girls and he goes, "You're beautiful, blonde-haired, blue-eyed girls. You're some of the best people on earth, if you know what I mean." And he goes in this fucking anti-Jew
Yeah, that's what he said.
fucking
Like,
thing to
he
them.
went up there and said, "You're blonde, your
Yeah.
blue eyes and blonde
And he's
hair."
like, the Jews control. And I hired him.
Oh wow.
So they go, hey, he don't like your tribe all that much. He's like spouting the shit. And I'm like, dude, I can't have no fucking Nazis working for me.
What'd you do? Did you fire him?
I didn't ask him back.
Yeah. I guess
I
he was
didn't
just a
fire
guest.
him.
He was just a guest.
Brilliant actor, though.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
a
he's
brilliant
a great,
actor. But
great actor.
good God, dude, they say Robert Mitchum was another one of them, blaming everything on the Jews. You know what goes with that? Either being a pedo or a drunk or a drug addict. Them things also goes together.
But this is the problem that I have with the people that blame everything on the Jews, is that it has this victim mentality. Everybody has to. You have to have like a boogeyman.
Yeah.
Even though something bad happened to your life, it's probably your fault, or self-sabotage.
shit.
You know what I'm saying?
No
It's your
shit.
fault that you're going through whatever you're going through.
No shit.
But you want to blame it on somebody else because it's easier to justify why you're not successful by blaming somebody that is either more successful or the reason why you're not successful.
Well, it's like that Susan Smith thing. Hey, it was a black guy who killed my kids.
Yeah.
It's all that. It's
Yeah.
all like, oh, where's the nearest scapegoat I can blame? You're a failure because you're a fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
You can't put 2 days of work together. You can't put 5 in a week. That's for damn sure. Without stealing or fucking up or, pissing somebody off or coming in late. You can't do that. And that ain't on the Jews.
I agree with you 100%. And it's funny we're talking about, famous people, but a guy that works really hard, I don't know if we're segueing into this, but he is one of the most famous Jewish guys, Howard Stern. But I'm saying...
He says he's not Jewish, though. I confronted him on it.
He's
I go,
half.
huh? He goes,
What?
I'm half.
But he
I go,
says
you can't be half.
He says
The
he's
fuck
Jewish.
are
I
you
know he
talking
does kind of
about?
hide it, but you're telling me
No,
when you
he said I'm half Italian. He got all up in his ass at me, too. I'm half Italian, like, hey, I'm half white, It was kind of like that. And I'm like, Howard, you made your whole career saying you're a Jew, you cunt.
Howard
Yeah.
Stern.
Yeah, Howard
Yeah,
Stern.
I mean,
New
the whole
York.
thing was America thought they had a Jewish friend at last.
Yeah.
And now he's saying Italian. That's what happens when you marry, I
Shiksa?
shouldn't say.
A horse. That's what they call her.
Beth
Beth.
Ostrovsky.
Well, I think she is a Jewish woman.
Yeah, I think she's
Is
Jewish.
she?
Yeah, I think it's Straussky. I think
Well, then
so.
maybe it's true Jews run everything because she ran him and
She ran
ruined
him. Yeah. Well, Jews
Well, she's
Jews
in
are
that-
powerful and smart. That's what
Yeah.
people don't realize is that Jewish people are
finally,
smart.
Jordan Peterson, who,
Love.
I love him.
Mm-hmm. He's a brilliant guy.
He's
for sure.
so brilliant. He's heads and tails above any of these other stupid asses.
Yeah.
But he just recently came out and goes, it's true. Jews run the world and control everything. I was like, I love that you said that, but there was no hate in it. He just was accepting reality.
If I'm hiring an attorney, I want the most Jewish attorney in the world. I mean, that's not a knock. That's a compliment.
Send in the Jews.
Yeah, seriously.
Fuck yeah, me too.
But it's because there's
Your
something
accountant.
about Jewish people are smart. They're usually,
Well, they're vicious.
they're vicious. They're
Yeah.
tough. They're fighters. I mean, there are
We're
a lot of.
fighters. We
Yeah.
have to be.
And if I'm,
I mean, for real.
and if I'm, trying to find the best basketball player, I might, pick a black guy. There's certain people that have certain attributes that they're better at than other people. I mean, that shouldn't
Nothing
be.
wrong with
Not
saying that.
anymore.
Yeah.
Now they're going for those 7-foot Chinese guys from the
That
valley
was one
down
time.
there. Huh?
They're actually play for like Eastern Bloc now. Are the big?
Oh yeah,
basketball
Easter Bloc.
Yeah.
Like
European.
Jovan.
Yeah,
Jovan.
there was only one Chinese, maybe two Chinese players.
There's Yao Ming and Jeremy Lin.
Yeah.
I think.
Uh-huh.
They didn't
Yeah.
really. They
No.
had good careers, but it's not like a big import from
Have
Well,
you
China.
seen
they
the
just
videos?
have to walk up there and drop it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Well, they have
Ming was
those
good.
videos where the Chinese kids are dribbling basketballs.
Yeah.
Like their schools are so much better than our schools.
100%.
Yeah, in every way. They
Yeah.
use TikTok for education.
Yeah.
Do you know how they screw us over with the TikTok? They make us watch all the stupid stuff
Yeah.
that makes us brain dead.
Yep.
And then they're getting math problems,
I know.
stuff about bridges and stuff about history. But then the Americans' algorithm is like death, sex,
It's all trans
OnlyFans.
shit. That's why they're kicking our ass. That's exactly why.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and the fentanyl crisis. That's how in China that they can
Yep.
legally make fentanyl as long as, like how here in America, Delta 8 and Delta 9 marijuana are legal because they add a molecule to it that makes it not THC, so it's THCA, so it's not technically federally illegal. Well, they do the same with fentanyl in China. They add a molecule to regular fentanyl, and then it's totally legal to make because they don't have the jurisdiction is not like it's constantly changing, right? So they have to get laws passed to make fentanyl A illegal, fentanyl B. So what they do is they make this synthetic fentanyl, they add a molecule to it, and the molecule they add to it is poisonous. It makes it even way worse, and that's why there's more overdoses. And then they send it all to Mexico. Mexico packages it, and the cartel just brings it across. So China, by using drugs and using TikTok, is killing America from the inside.
More Americans have died from fentanyl than both world wars combined.
Yeah, and it's all Chinese fentanyl.
We're invested in a fentanyl testing company. It's
Yeah.
coming out. This is the biggest problem. Nobody likes to talk about it, but fentanyl is killing our children. It's
the
not
fentanyl
just drug
test
users.
strips need to be everywhere. That is a
That's what we
brilliant
have.
thing. Yeah, I know. That's a
No, I'm getting them
thing.
into Texas. This is, we'll talk about it later, but
I
no.
know, but I mean,
Thefentanyltest.com.
But there was a time.
you wish people wouldn't be taking drugs, but you don't want them to die if they do.
Yeah, you don't want people to take drugs, but there's always going to be people that do. And now, like, this is going to sound crazy and insane, but there used to be a time when cocaine wasn't that dangerous. Like, cocaine, you wouldn't
Yeah.
just immediately die.
You don't deserve to die for doing coke.
Yeah, but now people do coke and it has fentanyl on it, and they're dying like crazy.
Well, they're saying they're putting Ajax, some kind of
No, it's
shit in.
fentanyl.
they put like
Fentanyl. Oh,
they do it because it's super cheap and it does create some sort of high. So when you do that or you taste
Look at
it,
George Floyd when he was arrested. He was on fentanyl.
George
Oh,
Floyd
is
died of a
that
drug
what-
overdose.
100%.
100%.
That was
He
fentanyl.
swallowed his drugs.
Yeah.
and he died. And yeah, Derek Chauvin put his knee on his neck, but that's not what caused him to.
No,
to
100%.
die. It
That's
was-
going to come out later. Can
Even
we do?
the toxicology came out that
no,
it was,
he died of a fentanyl overdose.
He had a
100%.
lethal amount of fentanyl in his system.
Time for an ad break.
Oh my God.
I'm getting really good at when
Yeah.
these come in. So George
Boy,
Floyd
how
died
they
of fentanyl.
manufactured evidence in that trial is astounding.
And then even the
all
cops that were
lawfare.
Yeah,
all
and the
lawfare.
cops-
I saw the.
the cops that were just around the poor Chinese cop got like 20 years in jail.
Yeah,
Like,
it's awful.
and you can't tell your superior cop get off him. Like if you have a superior cop, you just do whatever. So
Well, there were 2 or 3 on him at the time. There was. And
Well, they
Chauvin
showed
was on
that's
the
what
spec.
you do to prevent them from asphyxiating on their own vomit.
yeah.
Well, and he was
That's what you
resisting
do and
arrest.
Police do.
Let's do an ad real quick.
Whatever.
American
Everybody can go
finance-
to hell. I'll
No.
die my way out of this shit. I don't give a fuck.
American Financing, Alex. This is my favorite company. I do this every week. So they're a mortgage lending company, right? I don't know if you've heard of these people. They do home refinancing. That's what they specialize in. But what's good about this company is they're family owned and operated. They've been in business for 25 plus years. They're highly rated on Better Business Bureau. And most importantly,
The agents at American Financing are salary-based mortgage consultants.
and they save people an average of
Well,
$800
that's good.
that is good.
you haven't heard me finish.
800?
$854 a month, which is like getting a
the
$10,000 raise. That's their average, Alex. Their average. Do you own a home?
Yes, I own a home. I'm
Call
looking for
American-
refinance right
Listen.
now.
Call American
Now,
Financing.
listen, if you act today, you may be able to delay two mortgage payments.
Look at that, Alex.
Wow,
Yeah.
no, that's a
Oh,
bit.
what is it? 866 or is it 800? I can't go back.
I think it's 866.
Oh, you want to give the I'll give you the
Yeah.
number. The number is 866-890-8585.
Oh, I got the rest of it. Call 866-890-8585. That's 866-890-8585. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net/Roseanne.
Do you really own a home?
Yeah, I do. No, I
please
do.
use our promo
I
code.
will.
When they called us, I was excited because I have a lending license. I don't know if you know this.
Oh, really?
I love mortgage lending. When they called, I was like, Mom, we got to do it.
Yeah.
They said this is a first. A Jew wanting a lending license. We've got to have you in our
All right,
Yeah.
so
organization.
Walmart shit. We did the last ad. This was fentanyl killing George Floyd. And let's get back into the podcast.
I need another cocktail and a cigarette
Right.
before we continue.
That's fine.
And
Let's
when
take a
we
cigarette break.
continue,
We only have one more ad, too.
Yeah.
We're killing
Let's
when
go take
we
a cigarette break.
continue,
Yeah.
the crime spotlight is on you, baby.
You guys still haven't talked about Thomas Crooks, and I really want to. Or you?
Well, we talked about him for a second, but
You don't think-
let's
well,
go
We
to
don't
the
can
do it.
cigarette
talk
break.
more. We can talk.
Well,
more.
they tried to
cigarette-
kill Trump, right?
No, I want to talk about that, but I want
Well, don't
to
if you
have
don't
a
want it.
segment where I ask him some
All right.
questions about what he does.
Welcome back, everybody. We took a smoke break. We've been doing that a lot more recently. I'm not sure if you love it or not. Do you
What?
like the smoke breaks in the middle of the interviews? You've been doing it. You've done it like
Well,
the
you
last
know, when nature calls,
three or four. Feel the greens. You're holding it right there. Pop
Yep.
that up. Tell
right
everyone what
next
it
to me
is.
there.
Show it. Show it. You're not going to read your thing yet.
Oh.
Show them the thing.
here's my favorite buddy right here, Field of Green.
Alex, do you know what Feel the Greens
Yeah,
is?
it's great. Great superfood.
You've done it, right?
Yes, and it makes it great for digestion. It really does make you feel good.
It
It's
does.
6 whole fruits and vegetables.
The daily requirements.
Mhm.
Specifically tailored for liver health, heart health, blood health, all the healths, and they're freeze dried and pulverized. So you
And it-
scoop it in water, and it's
And that
good
doesn't
shit.
taste bad. Sometimes
No.
those green drinks taste
Yeah.
gross. That one actually tastes good.
Yeah, that one
It
that
tastes like it's a living thing.
Yeah.
It's not exactly bad, but it tastes like, hey, this is a living thing that might enhance my cells.
It doesn't taste like Dr. Pepper, but it tastes the opposite. Yeah.
It doesn't taste exactly like spam, but yet it's good.
Yeah.
Well, I've had some of those drinks. I know what he's talking about. It tastes like chemically. This actually tastes like pulverized fruit and
Yeah, it
vegetables.
tastes like
Because that's what it is.
normal.
And it should taste like that.
I mean,
anyway.
if you used to go out there and say, hey, I need to pulverize me some fruit and then freeze dry it, hell yeah.
Well, Phil the Greens, we've done a lot of ads for this company.
We
but
love this
is
company.
breaking news on the Roseanne Barr
Oh, wow.
What's
podcast.
that?
This almost never happens.
What's that?
Feel the Greens, right? Which is
Mhm.
owned by Brick House Nutrition, is having an end
It's
of
like a
summer,
brick
end of summer
house.
site-wide
It's
sale.
mighty, mighty.
I'll just edit you out there. End of summer site-wide sale, and with your code,
Yeah.
you'll save huge. You can tell the people more, but they have a sale. We already give people discounts for this great shit. Now it's even more discounts for even better shit. So tell the people where to go.
Brickhouse Nutrition is having an end of summer site-wide sale. And with my code RUMBLE, you'll save big on everything, including my Field of Greens. Don't miss this massive end of summer sale. Go to fieldofgreens.com. Use the promo code RUMBLE to save on everything. That's fieldofgreens.com, promo code RUMBLE. Yeah, bitches.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah.
All right. That's the final ad. Good job. Now we can get back to the podcast. You have a lot to talk about. Let's go.
Well, first thing I want to say, though, is, Michael Malice, friend of the show, love Michael. He's into anarchy, but I'm into Roseanarchy. That's the best name ever for a book.
Isn't it great?
That's a good one. I mean, did you come up with that name?
I actually think it was I think it was my ex, one of my exes.
That's
I think
so
it was
good.
Johnny that came up with Roseanarchy, because he said you should call your fans Roseanarchists.
That's exactly what I was
Yeah.
thinking. Roseanarchist. I'm not even
Mhm.
kidding. That's such a funny name.
But it's true. There's anarchy, and then there's Roseanarchy, which is like, you know what? They fuck everything up because they create chaos, so then they can pretend they bring order. Because
Yeah.
if you'll notice, it's like both sides of the coin there.
Well, it's like
Fuck
revelation.
everything up and then fix it.
Order out of chaos is what they call it. Problem,
Mhm.
reaction, solution, the Hegelian dialectic, where it's like they know the solution, so they have to create a certain problem that causes this reaction. And so it is very weird. And how Michael Malice, I used to always think, and I love Michael, he's brilliant. He's like,
I love him too.
he's like anarchy. I'm like, how is anarchy going to work? But the elites that rule the world, they kind of want anarchy because they want order out of chaos. But at the end of the day, I almost kind of want anarchy because the system's so screwed up, we can't vote our way out of it.
No.
Right.
We almost have to destroy it to steal a line from Biden to build back better. So I don't know. I almost want anarchy. And I think that I've tried to change my opinion because of guys like Michael Malice.
You want Rose Anarchy.
I want that's what I want, Rose Anarchy. But it sounds crazy. You're like, what do you mean you're an anarchist? But at this point, I don't know how else to save this republic unless it almost fails. Do you think they're purposely trying to do like a controlled demolition of America?
Yeah. Yeah, because they have to.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think it's controlled damage because it's going to go. I mean, Babylon is falling, and they're trying to help it fall soft landing.
Yeah.
But, in my opinion, I understand why they're doing that. But I've been saying it since 2008 when Obama rushed in to give all the banks everybody's retirement funds and money. I knew it was Babylon,
Well, do you think it's like globalism? They just want to they don't want America to be the leader of the free world. They just want us to be. See, I think I might
Well,
have.
they don't want no free world.
Well, I think I've said this maybe on your podcast.
You know how Trump goes,
They're not.
they're not after me, they're after you, and I'm just in their way. How it is, like Mel K says, they're not after America, they're after the world, and America stands in their way.
That's
what it is.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the America has to fall. And I also think
Well, they want it the fuck out of there because it stands for meritocracy, not tokenism.
yeah.
Which
Hey,
communism
individuality.
is nothing but tokenism. That's where you get, hey, can you find me any kids with one arm? Well, we got an operation over there in Iraq that we blew a bunch of fuckers up there. That you'll find a lot of kids with one arm. Oh my God, and it's all interconnected, a web of horror.
Yeah, I
It's
think.
got to go down.
Well, this is what I think it comes out of, and this is like Hillary Clinton, the Satan worshippers. It's the Tower of Babel.
It is.
And and if you look at the Bible, it's chapter 11, verse 9. That's the Tower of Babel. If you flip that, that's 9/11, which just kind of makes you think.
They love their numbers, the Satanists.
That's what I'm saying. They love 9/11. They love to hide these numbers in all kinds of ways that we don't even see it because like the people that are in power are basically dog whistling to each other and laughing.
Symbolism will be their downfall.
Exactly right.
You
But
know what the Satan worshippers say 9/11 stand for?
what do they say it stands for?
The real birthday of Jesus.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
That's what they believe.
Yeah, because that does make sense because Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. I mean, everybody, I think, agrees with that. But the Tower of Babel thing is they want to reverse engineer that because what happened was they tried to build a kingdom to heaven and God struck them down, separated them into tribes. And so what Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, they want to reverse engineer that. So we're under one ruler, one financial system.
And what's the real intent of that? They don't like tribal people.
Mm-hmm.
They especially despise tribal people who live over their own sacred burial grounds, particularly if those sacred burial grounds have oil. And every war's been about that. They do not, although they upheld it, that the Jewish people are the indigenous people of Judea.
Mm-hmm. So there's
The UN says it. So then they went into war with Islam over it. So what ended up happening? They got a pope that said, "You're right."
I like how you said the Chrislam. I didn't realize that. They're
Yeah,
trying to
that's their
basically,
one world religion is Islam.
yeah, the merger of Islam, Christianity. Is Judaism in that mix at all?
Only their version of Judaism, which is a Euro-based Judaism, which is the Judaism forced on Jews carried into slavery to Rome, into Europe.
Well, that's what I think the biggest plan is. And I know you said it earlier about evolution.
Mhm.
I don't believe that we evolved from just pawn scum. I think there's like microevolutions. We sleep together, have tall kids. Like there's microevolutions.
I'm with you.
What I think is they want to hide the existence of God. They want to make us think that nothing matters. There's no moral, responsibility that we have as citizens because we're just a science experiment that we grew from literal abiogenesis, cell
They want
splitting.
to erase tribal memory in tribal people. Hence, they can become low-wage slaves in debt slavery to royalty.
Well, people
and
that believe in
feudalism.
God are harder to control because they believe in something more powerful than the state, which is why China has been outlawing religion. And I
Yeah.
don't know if you've seen the 3 red flags. Have you seen this week that came out?
No, what
There
is
are
it?
3 flags. It was part of the Chinese Communist tenet. It's 3 red flags. Their words for them, forgive me, I don't remember. But in Obama's campaign slogan, Biden and now Harris, there are 3 red stripes. They have American colors, but it's basically the tenets of communism, which is to remove God from the audience because then you can control them. They're true. If it's a true believer, you can't control them. That's what I think.
You're exactly right. I agree with
That
you 100%.
is what it is.
Yeah, because they want to make
That's why
you
they
just
hate
feel,
us.
yeah, and they want to make you feel like worthless and that you don't have any sort of meaning. But yeah, we've all won the lottery of life, even being born, no matter how bad your life is. Like just the fact that we're alive, but they try to take that like essence of life, the good thing.
Well, it hides
And-
their real agenda. It gets every particular ethnic and marginalized group to protect its own pedophile.
Well, and it's like you said, it's like, what is it? The saying, the devil's greatest trick was not convincing you that he wasn't real. The devil's greatest trick was convincing you that God wasn't real. So these people, they look at the Bible
Yeah,
and they
how you
invert
can
it.
believe in the devil but not God. But the truth is about Satanists, they all study the Bible.
And
They know
invert
the
it,
Bible
yeah.
backwards
They know it
and
better
forward.
than a
Yeah,
normal
they know it
Christian
better
preacher.
They know it better than Jews, but they know it way different than Jews.
Well, they like to invert it. What do you think about these like pulpit pimps, these preachers for profit, like Joel Osteen and stuff? Do you think that that's good for society, that these preachers have those mega churches? Because I think that's kind of satanic, having a church that's all about money, considering, finding
gotta
God
look
shouldn't
at
cost
what
money
do-
to go to heaven, or, the money shouldn't.
Well, it's like what they doing with it. Well, are they feeding the hungry and clothing the
I don't think Joel
helping the
Osteen
widows
is.
and the children, or are they gathering up the kids and eating them?
Yeah, and flying on private jets.
Yeah. But I mean, that's God will expose them. We don't have to do nothing. That's why people start going, we got to expose them. That's why I want to talk to you.
yeah.
Like, what makes you go out there and play the fool to such an extent that you just don't give a fuck? You don't even have any kind of ego or self.
No,
You have no pride
shame.
at all.
Yeah, I got
You
none.
have no pride and no shame, which is rare.
Well, it's not the best trait, but it is what it is, because at the end of the day, like, I try to use humor to try to wake people up, and Jake was just saying how you can't wake somebody up. You always say you can't wake somebody up that's pretending to be asleep. I try to wake people up, like, you need to wake up to the pandemic. You need to wake up to the government. They don't want to be awakened, so you have to use humor, or you have to almost trick them into looking into it themselves. And for me, if I can be the laughing joke, or the butt of a joke, as long as it makes people ask questions, is this real? Is this fake? Is this really happening? Then I did my job. And I'm not even saying that to virtue signal. That's just honestly how I feel, is that I want to try to entertain people and motivate them to ask what the hell's going on.
Yeah, but do you yourself just gravitate to the ridiculous? Does God just lay it bare before you?
I think so.
How do you get the eyes to see it like you do?
Well, I think with me is the more absurd something is, the more I like it. You know what I mean? I agree that we live in the upside down world. Like, for one of my biggest videos is, and this is just, they already basically wrote it, is they said during the Ukraine stuff, you couldn't call for the assassination of anybody, but you could call for the assassination of Vladimir Putin. So I thought that's weird. I'm like, you can't say anybody should die, but you're legally now allowed to say you can kill Vladimir Putin. So I made a song, gas price is way too high. Vladimir Putin needs to die. And that song went like super viral. But normally if you called for anybody to die on YouTube, immediately taken off, immediately censored.
They were fine with that.
Yeah, they were fine with that. And so I thought that was so absurd, because I was trying to push the boundaries. I was like, I'm going to say I want to kill Putin and get kicked off YouTube. I didn't get kicked off YouTube. It went super viral. And so I'm like,
my favorite thing that because they took out all my fake.
Can you move closer to your mic, please?
Oh, they found me out on all my
burner
bogus X.
Yeah.
Or what was it before?
Twitter, yeah.
I had a ton of fake ones there, but they finally tracked me down, But then it was, they got rid of all my ones, but the one that I can't control.
You're talking about when they knew they kicked you off, you'd create new ones and they would just delete them.
Yeah, they chased me for about 5 years.
Wow.
But they finally got my, I don't know what they did. The fucking Chinese ate a snake in the sacrifice to overcome the gods of Scorpio or some shit.
Can I read this to you guys?
But anyway, yeah.
The 3 red banners I was talking about. This is from Mao. One is the general line for socialist construction. The second is the Great Leap Forward.
Yeah, the Green New Deal.
It is. The third is people's communes. But here's the funniest thing. I looked this up. Mm-hmm. I went to Snopes because Snopes cracks me. Snopes is the funniest website.
Snopes is the biggest liar.
It's false that it's in the Biden logo, because Biden's logo is just 3 red banners. And Mao's talking about 3 red banners, but there's no evidence that the 3 red banners in Obama or Biden's or Kamala's logos are part of the communist. So it's false.
Yeah.
Because they just have 3 red banners. There's no proof that it's linked to Mao. You get what I'm saying?
Did you see that one thing they were showing the Dems in 2020? Their logo was D2A. It was like Death to America.
Yeah, and in their code, I forget the number that you text. It was like had like some sort of satanic decoding in the number. Like the numbers added up to 666. It was like text 60, 60, 60, and we're like, that's 666.
And they think
Symbolism will be the downfall.
think that we don't see them.
Right. Yeah, most people don't.
Their shit is
most people don't.
What is it? Subconscious, what's
subliminal. We can't even catch it.
Kamala's face, Joe Camel, subliminal advertising. That's what it is. But yeah, no, symbolism will be their downfall. They do it. They have to do it. You were telling me this last night.
Now you're sounding like
I tried to say this on Jovan. What's the satanic
revelation of the method?
Please explain this.
And so this is the thing: is the people that are ruling the world, the people that are actually in power, like that we don't even know about, for their karma. Because they do believe in good versus evil. They do believe that there's an afterlife. They do believe that they're going to have to atone for the stuff they do here. So it helps their karma, I guess, karmutic law. I forget exactly what it's called. Where as long as they tell us, it's like this.
Yes.
Like it's the release.
Well, let's say we go in the woods. This is
It's the prenup.
Well, basically, it's a prenup. It's natural law. So this is how they explain it. So like, let's say we're in the woods. All they have to tell us is that there's a bear trap somewhere in the woods. They just have to put up. They don't have to tell us where the bear trap is. They don't tell us how many bear traps. They just have to say, hey, there's a bear trap somewhere here. And that gives them carte blanche to do whatever they want. And now morally, they're not responsible.
Because if you get trapped, you were warned.
Yeah, you were warned.
Their karma
they told
is
us
clear.
Their karma is fine. So they have to reveal what they're doing. And that's why it's so obvious to anybody that's paying attention with climate change and just what's going on in the world today. It's like, you can just tell that it's meant to, I guess, not just control us, but demoralize us. And that's why they do it, so that we just get more powerless, and these people can just willy-nilly control us without feeling any guilt whatsoever.
Unless you're a Jew.
Well, they go after Jews. I mean,
Oh, but here's the funny part. Here's what psychopaths they are. This is the X factor.
mhm.
You know, I was saying the innate intelligence of the Jewish woman after surviving how many thousands of years of their bullshit.
Mhm.
Their backward Alice in the Looking Glass horseshit. You know, and by they I mean the tippy top of feudal pyramid.
Yeah, like the Pope and I
The
mean,
queens and kings and the blue bloods.
yeah.
The 13 families that rule everything. And one of them is the Sassoon family. Did you know
Vidal
that?
Sassoon,
Yeah,
but what about? I
the
know this.
hairdresser.
The hairdresser, but they're super rich from. Well, you know, Prince Charles and Alex Jones talked about this. His grandfather is literally a vampire, or is from Transylvania. It's like
Yeah,
lived in Rome.
Transylvania.
Yeah, I mean,
Vlad,
this is Vlad the Impaler, who's basically
the Impaler. And my mother, this is what my mother says about Purim. You know, the book of
Yeah.
Esther. My mother, she's a real old Jewish woman in her 90s. She goes, I remember when they changed the story of Esther and they said that all Haman and his family was hung on their gallows. But in reality, my grandfather's prayer book said they were impaled in the anus. And my mom goes, I prefer the old ways.
well. It's crazy you say that because that's like Mandela
That's
effects.
Transylvania.
Well, that's Transylvania they're talking about, but how they've changed words in the Bible too. I think it was like, gosh, I forget which one is like the lions lay with the sheep, and it was always like
Yeah.
coyote or something. But are you familiar with Mandela effects at all? Stuff that they say we remember it wrong, but
Yeah.
like there's supposedly a movie with Sinbad called Shazam. Did you ever hear that one?
You don't know the Mandela effect?
There's
Oh
a
my
thing
God,
called
explain
Chick-fil-A. So the Mandela effect is like
I love Sinbad.
yeah, the stuff that we always thought is real. Like
It's the
in
best thing about
Star
the
Wars,
internet.
what do you think that what in Star Wars? I know this is crazy.
No,
to
I know
mention
where
it.
you're going.
When Darth Vader kills Luke, what does he say?
Doesn't kill Luke. But
I never.
Or I mean, what does he throw?
what does he reveal to Luke? Darth
What is
Vader.
his daddy?
How does he say it?
I am you, Father.
And he never said that. He said, I forget exactly what he said. Look it up.
Suck
real
No,
quick.
my
she was
dick.
right, actually. Usually people say, Luke, I am your father. She just said, I'm your father, which is what he says.
Oh, he
I
never said
am.
Luke. He
So
never.
she's not part of the Mandela effect.
So you're not part of the Mandela effect. So they say that there's.
There's a
I
different
ain't part of
timeline.
any bullshit.
No,
Like
real
sh-
quick, explain it because this is fascinating.
What?
Roseanne Barr learns about the Mandela
Well, they say
effect.
that
Okay.
they say that the stuff is changing.
Is that the butterfly effect
No,
too?
No, the butterfly effect is like if we go in time and the wings of a butterfly could affect the whole entire outcome of
Okay.
history.
The Mandela effect, just so I'm not,
Yeah.
I hate to
No,
interrupt.
you explain it
A
better.
lot of people think Mandela went to prison for life and died in prison. That's why it's
Hmm.
called the Mandela effect. He actually got out and became president.
That was his wife.
Well, I'm just saying that's what actually
Okay.
happened. So the Mandela
here I know
effect
one-
is a term because a lot of people go, well, Mandela died in prison, an innocent man. A lot of people remember that's not what happened. So a Mandela effect means you're
Well, he
misremembering.
went let's be real. Joe Biden went down there and liberated him.
What I'm saying
Yeah.
is a lot of
According to
people
Joe Biden.
remember history, like the Bernstein Bears. Remember I used to have that book? Do you remember it was the
Like
Bernstein
the
Bears?
Krasenstein Bears?
No, the kids' book. I
Yeah,
used
but
to
it's
Oh.
like
read.
Krasenstein.
It's actually Berenstein. It's not Bernstein.
Yeah, Berenstein.
So she remembers everything correctly.
Yeah, well, and then
You're dispelling
what
it.
about this one? The
See, I
fruit-
told you I wasn't fucking crazy.
No,
It's
you're
y'all
not
that
crazy.
are
We're all crazy.
what
'cause
about the Fruit of the Loom logo? If you had to describe Fruit of the Loom, what does that logo look like?
grapes?
Grapes, a whole bunch of a cluster of grapes.
Yes, but there's also everybody remembered
Apple?
it as having a cornucopia. It doesn't have a cornucopia. Like
I don't remember that.
I know it's hard
Oh.
to explain it, but
I don't remember cornucopia.
yeah. Well, pull up a picture of it.
Please explain. And you're not explaining it
What?
properly.
I'm
I
not
don't-
explaining it properly, but this is what they say.
Uh-huh.
There's stuff we just remember wrong.
No, what
And-
it is we've accessed a different timeline.
yeah, they say the timeline's constantly changing, but
So
they'll say
people that didn't switch the timeline will remember a different history.
like that's
because
not
we're-
the Fruit of the Loom logo. Do you see that? That's not, it's never had a cornucopia. It's never had that brown thing.
No, I never seen that.
I've never thought that.
But see, people.
I
So a lot of
seen
people
the
think.
grapes.
I remember the grapes. So
Google
you and
it.
I never switched timelines because we're legit.
Yeah, you guys aren't. You guys aren't on that wavelength. But there's so many other Mandela effects, little stuff that people are like, was
I
that?
like when they had the black singing grapes that was singing
Yeah.
soul
California.
music.
that was awesome. The California raisins.
the
Oh,
California
the
raisins.
California.
They were great.
They were their voices, their music was
She's not in the
Just
Mandela
kill her.
effect.
What?
All right, we'll
No,
change
but I
that.
want to
now.
hear. I'm
No,
sorry.
abort.
What?
No,
We're
no,
fine.
no. But it
No,
was just,
shut up, Jake. I don't know
well,
what
it's just
you're
funny how
doing.
something changed in the Bible because there's
Yeah.
Mandela effects in the Bible too, where they said it was this word and then it was actually a different word.
Yeah.
So it's just weird stuff. Like you'd have to be in the opinion that they're changing stuff in real time. I don't necessarily think that, but
hmm
there's just weird stuff with our history that we, like you said, in a Bible or in the Quran that it was written different and now it's totally changed.
hmm
It's just weird. How does that change?
Because of the Bible, some of us who study it,
Hmm.
we think everybody's go, oh, here she goes. But we think that it's a time traveling machine. It's actually a time traveling vessel, I guess you'd call
The
it.
Bible?
Yeah,
Oh.
because it was written those many thousand of years ago upon exiting the Egyptian slave system. It was written those many years ago, the first movement towards freedom in the desert.
No, I think you're right. Did you see they found copper pipes in the tombs of the pyramids?
Of course.
And so they're like, why would they need these pipes unless there was electricity there? Or they
That's
had
right.
some sort of, and I do believe there was free electricity. Like Tesla basically said there was. And
Of course there is.
yeah, the earth has energy. So you think you'd be able to harness that. It's very weird. And then now you see like this wireless charging on phones. So I used to think like, oh, any wires, you just get electrocuted. That's not how energy works. So they're lying about history. Like,
Oh,
we
they're
don't-
lying
Do you
about
know about
everything.
Edison and Tesla's argument about that?
Yeah,
What?
the
That he
alternating
electrocuted an
currents.
elephant?
Yeah, he killed an elephant.
But he did that to fuck with Tesla.
on purpose. Yeah,
Yeah.
he purposely
Who killed an elephant? What?
Edison.
Edison did because he wanted.
He was like,
the-
look, Tesla's electricity is dangerous, and murdered an elephant and showed everyone. And that's why he got the AC/DC. That's why he won out. It's
Yeah.
all bullshit. He lied.
Edison?
Yeah,
And you know that
Edison's a crook.
you'll love this. You
Oh
know,
my
th-
God, I
say-
didn't know
You're
that.
learning so much on this
Oh,
podcast.
you'll love this. Okay, so
You are the greatest guest.
no,
But
no.
listen, shut up now, because I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
What kind of a fucking huge thrill are you getting out of being such a provocateur?
I get a thrill out of it, but that's not even the best part. This is the best part that I get to
What?
sit here and talk with you. This is the best part.
No, but how smart are you? And did you suffer for being smart your whole life?
I did. I barely graduated, but I was always in the principal's office. Not even for bad behavior, just because that's just my personality. I was
Because you
always.
can't lie.
I think that I'm not good at lying, and I'm a Libra, so I believe in astrology, and I've always tried to be fair.
You know what Libra's about in Hebrew astrology. I bet
Cool.
you don't,
No,
because you're a Jew, so Jews know nothing about Judaism.
no.
No, I know you don't, but let me tell you what Libra's about. What's your birth date?
October 8th.
The Libra, everybody's like, because the Romans,
Mhm.
the Roman occupation of Judaism.
Mhm.
Okay, that's going back, but now we have to flip whatever. But the
The Libra.
Libra
Yeah.
in Hebraic, we have a lunar calendar, and the Pax Romana has solar calendar
Right.
because they worship Ra, the sun god.
Yeah, they worship the sun. Yeah.
Okay, and they own the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what all royals from Pharaoh believe, because they're from Babylon. All royals are from Babel.
Mm-hmm.
What does Libra mean?
Libra in the Hebraic means, they always show, it's the most even-minded. They show it with the scales,
Yeah,
holding
the
the
scales.
scales. Everything is through their egocentric horseshit of the Libra, the most egocentric horseshit, self-deluding asshole of the whole fucking astrology.
Is that true?
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
go like this. I'm the most balanced.
That's what I say all the time. I always say I'm so
Look at his
fair.
girlfriend.
I
Everybody.
know. I always say I'm
most
so
fair.
fair.
It's like
I am fair, but go ahead.
fair
Sorry,
and
yeah.
balanced.
Like Fox News.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the Fox News of fairness.
Fair and balanced.
Paige is loving this.
I am even, not affected by emotion, but by only fact and data. That is me. I'm like Spock.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I am the ultimate judge of humanity because I follow only facts, not emotions. I'm in no way any kind of a girly little FAG.
I wish we had a camera on his girlfriend right now. It
Yeah,
would be
she's
amazing.
laughing.
You know what
But-
Libra also means?
It's so-
You're
gay.
But
means
no,
gay.
it doesn't mean
You're
you're gay.
bisexual.
Here,
You're
it doesn't mean
balanced.
you're gay because
You like
gay,
dick.
gay is third level subsidiary meaningless worship.
Well, I apologize.
One thing I want to bring up. Let's try-
Here's what it
Okay,
means.
go ahead.
You be quiet.
Yes,
Hey,
yes. I
quit
will.
trying to talk on the podcast you're a guest of.
No, just remember I got to bring up Trump and Back to the Future.
We'll
okay.
go to that.
Okay.
Here's what it is. What is it again? Your
Libra.
sign?
What does Libra mean?
It means you cannot make a decision.
I'm terrible at making decisions.
That's what it means. The balance is jail.
Yeah.
Your
You have to
mind
overcome
won't
this.
allow you to decide.
I can't ever make a decision because
You
I'm
But
like,
you know what?
overcome
From
this.
here to 4,
Mhm,
I'm getting the blessing for the Libra.
please.
From here to 4, you trust your first reaction. Your first,
My gut. When I
your
go with
gut.
my gut, it's always better than when I go with my
not
brain.
your gut.
Not my gut.
The only way to tell, as Torah tells us, when the hairs stand on the body.
That
Literally.
happens.
That's when
that's
you
the
know
correct.
it's true.
Wow.
That's God covenant with us. When the hair on the body stands.
Well, that's weird when you say that because there's times where I like think about my mom and stuff, and it'll make my hair stand up on my back.
That's
Yeah.
God energy.
I know that I'm saying that's weird.
That's God in
Donald
the
Trump will
physical
win.
world.
But that is wow. I learned something new. But I had to bring up this thing because you said about time
What?
travel. Did you know?
Time travel.
You know, Back to the Future, the movie. It's about Donald Trump.
I
And-
didn't know that.
Yeah,
What?
Biff
What?
Tannen.
What?
You read that
What?
book?
Yeah. What did you
What?
see?
What?
So Biff Tannen in the movie becomes like a casino mogul because he travels back in time and he
Gets the
gets
sports book,
he gets a sports book, so he knows all the sports stuff.
the almanac.
And then on top, there's so much symbolism. I'm going to send you this thread.
Really?
Yes,
Is this from Reddit?
It's
Of
not even. I
course.
mean, it's on Reddit, but now there's people on Twitter posting it. But there's all this weird symbolism, like too.
That's Mandela effect too.
It's Mandela. It's just weird because even I think it's Jerry Bruckheimer. I forget which person that was a producer of it, but he even said after the fact that Biff Tannen, the character, was based on Trump, and
Wow.
so they say Trump is a time traveler because Trump's
Oh, he is a
uncle.
time
I
traveler.
know is
Yeah,
friends with
he
Tesla.
has
and that-
Teslas. Yeah,
that's-
I know all
I'm
that.
starting to believe that because it's like how
well, you
could
know
the-
the book about
Who
Barron
is
and
the
Trump,
time
right?
yeah,
traveler?
and Elon, and there's
We
a
have
book.
it.
There's a book about a guy named Elon who was written by Werner von Braun, who was
Yeah.
a Nazi we brought over during Operation Paperclip.
Let's
Makes
not
you
hold
think-
that against him.
Yeah, but he wrote a book about a guy named Elon going to Mars. So it's just weird how do they know about this? Like Back to the Future is literally basically about
But
Donald
he was a
Trump.
bad guy in Back
Do you
to the
want
Future
me to
too.
tell
he was a
you-
bad guy.
Yeah, he was the
I don't
villain.
know. I don't buy it. Trump's a good guy. I'm convinced.
Do you want me to tell you
Yes.
or not?
Oh yes, please.
What?
I want you to beg me.
Please tell us, please.
Okay. You'll have to summon my nemesis as queen.
Okay.
So say
Queen, please tell us, Queen. We want to know.
Queen of Queen
Queen.
Queen of time travelers.
Queen of time
Are
travelers.
you a time traveler, Mom?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
I
See, that's
thought
probably
you knew
right.
that.
I feel like that's
I never
I
true.
knew
thought
that.
you knew that.
I had no idea. Breaking news on
Well,
the Roseanne
Jake, your
Barr.
mom has to be a time traveler because how the
I
hell?
always say I am Cleo. I am the reincarnation of Cleopatra. I've said that forever.
You said every
Did you not
lifetime.
never
You
say
said
that?
every past life. You say, you know how everyone's Cleopatra in their past life? I was Cleopatra in all of my past lives. That's what
I
you used to
always
say.
was Cleopatra.
I believe it because how do you become the
Yeah.
top? How do you become number one at anything unless you know?
That's
from
true.
Prior, like you were literally number one.
I was the Queen Cleopatra
That's what I'm saying. You've
of
done this
Egypt,
before.
who had to,
Is that how
who
you know
was
Trump?
taken hostage by Pax Romana.
Mhm.
But you know, Queen Cleopatra,
Hmm.
she saved the Jews 7 times.
Really?
Let's not hold that against her.
She saved the Middle Eastern Jewish people 7 times.
Cleopatra did. I didn't know that.
She certainly did.
Do you
You
know?
should read about Queen Cleopatra and the mythological connections to Queen Esther.
She was the Egyptian, right? I don't know my
Yeah,
Cleopatra,
she
yeah.
was a bloodline family.
And she was involved with Mark Antony and the Roman Empire,
Well,
right?
when Rome,
Invaded Egypt.
when Rome invaded
She rolled herself up
Alexandria,
and she rolled herself
she had
up
a
in
child
a
with
carpet
him.
and was delivered naked to him. Do you know that?
No.
Yeah, that's how she did. That's how she did it.
Well,
that's why I say she was not a hoe.
Are you sure you're Cleopatra? Because I don't know if you would allow yourself to be rolled up nude in a carpet and delivered to a. Well, maybe you would.
Well, it would depend. Like if God
To save
made me
people.
look like Cleopatra, I sure as fuck would.
Yeah.
If I had something to work, I sure as fuck
Did you
would.
meet Trump in your time travels? Is that how you guys became friendly?
Yeah, I feel like I've known him on another level. But, you know, I've known so many famous, great male artists,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't even know what we did in our last life. And I don't want them to know because they might start trying to reinitiate that shit. And I'm not down for it, what with my thin vaginal walls. I can never have sex again. That's the sad reality, but kind of liberating.
Well, is sex really that good? I mean, of course we like sex. We need to procreate.
Well, when y'all's age and you're attracted to
but why is
somebody.
everything so over-sexualized? Why are we? I mean, that makes me think that sex is, even though it's the most important thing to procreate, but like everybody's so sexualized, everybody has OnlyFans, it just means like sex is bad, right? I mean,
No, it means you were molested early in childhood.
well, that is the thing.
and then you
70%.
became fixed and TTS'd on it, and you're like, oh, I can't handle all the horrible things that are happening to me. It's exactly all it is. I gotta find that goat doing the thing with the cat. It's like let the devil in there.
Yeah.
It's so horrible. That's how they do you.
I think sex is like anything. It
That's
can
what
go
they
good or
mean when
bad.
they say opening the third eye. That's their shit, their secret society, fucking kids in the butthole bullshit.
Thank you.
They'll fuck girls and boys right up in the butthole. They don't care. They only are for butthole. They don't care about vagina. That's for making the babies that they can sacrifice and get the uterine scrapings to sell to Bill Gates for his fetus meat they sell at McDonald's.
Roseanne Barr Podcast, everybody.
Well, but-
yeah.
Yeah, but you know, you say this, and you guys make fun of me because I'm a vegetarian. But they did a test on a McDonald's.
No, it's
No,
true.
I make fun of you because you're
well,
gay.
well, yeah, that's true. But what
I
I'm
never
saying
go
is,
to McDonald's.
well, but this is what they say is
but
McDonald's.
I like their fish burgers.
Their stuff is good. I mean,
Filet
it's
fish.
genetically
It
modified.
is.
But
Yeah.
they've done
Not
tests on
holding
the
against
burger
them.
meat, in that when one burger,
Fetus.
well,
Horse.
it'll have meat, but yeah, it'll have meat from
Horses.
like 1,000 different cows. But they've done tests where it had human meat in it,
Yeah.
and they say, oh,
Yeah.
a person fell in the grind, or got his finger cut.
No, but
and they
they're
found
getting
a
it
horse
right
in
from
it.
Planned Parenthood is
How does
selling.
the horse... Wait.
Yeah.
Planned Parenthood is selling the fetus meat
Yes.
as what do they call it? Protein.
Well, they do that. They do the
They
foreskin
passed all these
facial.
laws
You-
where you could call it protein.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
We're all
How
fucking
does a
cannibals.
horse fall into a McDonald's vat?
hey, it
Well,
doesn't
when
make any
he's
sense.
fucking one of the Democrats.
The
That
big-
wasn't even funny.
It
biggest-
doesn't matter. Fucking Democrats is always going to be
well,
funny.
There are a lot of horse fuckers in the Democrat Party.
They are, and there's goat fuckers.
Sorry.
Actually, have you ever seen those videos where they're in the Middle East and they
I
actually
certainly
yeah.
have.
they're actually banging a goat? I thought that was a joke.
No,
but
no,
there's-
they really
there's
do that.
Hundreds of videos.
That's
Don't
what
look
they
this
did
up.
at Diddy's
Check out
party.
Mexico, what they do with
No.
donkeys down there.
Well, there's a lot
Diddy
of
was
donkeys.
It's a
doing
coming
that.
of age thing.
Oh, I've
Excuse
seen
me.
donkeys where donkey bangs a girl, but I'm
no,
saying
boys
No.
fuck donkeys
Oh.
is coming of age.
Diddy's parties was all about fucking in the goats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Yep.
I can't believe a goat will
Allegedly.
just sit there and let a human.
Well,
do
they
that.
do them on the edge of a cliff,
Yeah, I've seen those videos though, where they have them like on the.
so they're
The-
pushing back.
There's like a train going by, and like they're in the middle of Afghanistan or something. There's a guy. Just
Did you
banging
ever
a
see
goat.
that documentary Zoo, and where it showed these guys up in Oregon, these
don't
all
want
white farmer guys? They was training the horses to get behind them and do their business.
Oh my God! Do you remember the
and
guy
the
that
guy,
died?
Oh yeah, he
was-
died. Yeah,
yeah, he was
Where he in
disemboweled.
Washington or Oregon or
It was
something?
Oregon. He was disemboweled. And of course, he's like blaming the Jews.
It's those damn Jews let this horse fuck me to death.
Did you ever see the guy fuck the horse in his living room
Yeah.
at the base of the stars, and then he's like,
Oh.
and the horse is slipping on the tile?
People-
Hilarious shit.
The
Check
people
it
are
out.
gross, but back to what we were saying earlier, we were talking about the penises and the foreskin. Sandra Bullock was on Ellen DeGeneres' show talking
No,
about
I
how,
talked
yeah.
about that. Yeah.
yeah, they do the
She goes-
facial with
They
And
did.
penis
Ellen's
foreskin.
like this. And what's it made of? She's like taunting her a little bit.
Yeah,
And what's her name? Sandra Bullock. And what's it made of? Sandy.
yeah, and she's like,
Oh, I don't really want to say. Oh, why don't you want to say Sandy?
they think it's so funny.
And she goes, well, oh, well, come on, tell us, Sandy. Well, it's made of little Indonesian slave boys' penises. And
They
the
laugh, the
audience
whole crowd
goes crazy. You go, girl. You know.
Just keep rubbing penises of babies on your face. I mean, that's like sexual deviancy, and they just hide it in a face
When I
cream.
saw it, I call up my psychiatrist. I need you to reserve me a bed on Ward 3. I could never take it.
No, it's scary shit.
I'll be checking in on the weekend.
I mean, I do want to try it though, just for
Can't
the
take it.
anti-aging benefits.
I would try it.
What?
I mean, they're already
I'm kidding.
foreskinned off, and they're not like they don't take a baby and go and then shove it in their face.
They might though. I mean, they don't do it like that, but I'm saying they might
Don't
be
they?
cutting.
What do they do with the foreskins? The Jews do because they do circumcise foreskins off boys. Jews do it. We all admit it. What do they do with it? Because I remember the
You
Kabbalah
know,
Center,
I
we
don't know,
planted
but
it.
I remember when he got my son here, he got circumcised.
Yeah, I did.
Well, his dad wasn't even a goddamn Jew. I married a fucking, what is it?
Goyim, Chicsa,
No, he's not. I didn't look at him that way. What are the Irish and the Scots?
Scots Irish. He's Lutheran. He's a
No,
Protestant.
I don't give a shit for his religion.
He's a Scots Irish.
But there's a tribe they are. I can't remember.
Scots Irish.
No, there's a tribe of
Pentland.
Israel they
Oh,
are.
all right.
Well,
Shut up. But anyway,
Yeah.
Well, you asked me.
y'all don't know.
no, I don't.
I don't.
Oh, damn.
Anyway, I'm
I
circumcised.
do know that Jake had a bar mitzvah, and Chris Farley was there. The
Chris
funniest
Farley was
guy in
my
the-
boy. We were friends.
It's just so
Greatest
iconic.
moment of my life. That was the coolest thing ever. You know, he was really like that
He was
in person.
so nice.
Like when he does the Chris Farley show, and he's like, "Remember when?" And he's all weird and awkward. That's how he really was.
He
He
really
really-
was like that.
No, I was
He
very
was
lucky.
The
awkward.
best
so
thing
sudden.
he ever did that I never seen him do, ever saw him do,
Rip.
in my living room there, we're all shit-faced, of course. And I got him talking about, hey, do you have an obsessive number where you got to do something?
Yeah.
Because I have that.
Yeah,
like,
I have OCD a little bit where I
Well,
don't want.
what's your number?
Well, I like evens more than odds, you know. So like sometimes I like to do stuff twice, or like if something's wrong, I got to do it again. If it, you know, I like stuff to be even.
Because you
So
want it to
two.
be 2.
That's
Yes,
his
I
number
want
is
it to be
Is 2 your number?
Like
Mhm.
yes, like if I smoke a cig, I kind of need the second cig, or else
He's
I'll
a
be like,
I
two.
got you.
Mom's a 5. You're a 2.
I'm
You're
a 5.
Yeah, I'm a 2. I need to be the second.
So I was having this kind of conversation with Chris. And I go, what's your number? He goes, I don't really have a number. Mine's more disgusting. And I said, and forgive me, Chris, but people should know he is so haunted and genius, you know.
yeah, why was he so tortured? Why was he? Because it seemed like he had a good home life. His dad was close with
Well,
his dad.
because his dad weighed 700
His dad was huge. I know
and
that.
his mom weighed 950.
His mom was just as big
Yeah,
as his dad.
there's 2. They couldn't stop eating.
You got to look up a picture of Chris Farley and his dad. His dad made Chris look thin. I'm
I
not
know,
gonna do it right
but
now.
they loved each other, but they needed all those layers of protection for how many times they was wounded, you know.
No, that's what they
Yeah,
say.
it's covering their wounds.
dude.
Yeah, look at his dad. His dad.
Thomas Farley.
We
that's
was
His dad had
always
like a
talking about, okay, you can do this drug and that drug. You can give them up easy, but you can't give up chips.
No,
That
cheeseburgers.
truckload of fucking chips when you're crying your eyes out at night over some man or woman.
What was his What was
That's
his
true.
number though? You never even
Oh
finished
yeah,
the
what
story.
was his number?
You're
He said
all
he
over.
said he's
Oh,
a
he
grocer.
told me he don't have a number. I says, well, what's your shit? Do you have to do it before you go on stage? Because I have to turn the lights off and on 5 times, you know, as well as unplug shit and plug
Mhm.
it back in. He said, well, you know, he was afraid I'd judge him, which I did and laugh my ass off when he told me to.
What was it? You're killing me.
He had to touch everything in the room with his tongue.
No.
licked
Oh.
Yeah,
stuff?
and he showed me. He licked my couches, my rugs, my end tables.
Well, that
my
kind of makes
pictures.
sense that he had like an oral fixation.
guy.
It was insatiable.
How
But
did
he
never
had to
get
put his
sick?
tongue on everything except a human.
That's insane. That's
yeah, and
wild.
I was like, I'm going to be so supportive. And then I was like,
You freak! Put your tongue back in your mouth.
Crazy motherfucker!
I turned on the lights 5 times.
I was mad.
Yeah. That's normal, you freak! Get out of my house.
And then he OD'd right after that. It's your fault.
Yeah.
You probably
Oh,
made it. You
Christ,
probably
we're all
pushed him.
nuts, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
You're nuts like a.
Oh,
Did
I-
you ever do stand up?
I do stand up. but
I didn't know you did stand
yeah,
up.
I got to show.
What's your
I've never
opening
seen
line?
Well, it's funny. I talk.
Is this where you came out of to be the pimp on the blimp?
Well, that's kind of one of my catchphrases. But like the kind of stand up I like to do. I like to talk about how I'm sick of conservatives trying to outlaw transgenders in women's sports because that's stupid. We can bet on the transgenders and we can win.
No
We can-
shit.
So
Money.
we need to not outlaw them. We should support them and gamble on them.
I think so too.
And I talk about being Tucker Carlson's biological stepson.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, no,
You do look like it if he had like an Italian mom.
yes, and I love comedy, but you have to admit this though. Stand up in this day and age, it's not the same as it was. I don't know how to explain it. Like you'd have a Richard Pryor live on the Sunset Strip, and that's this
Right.
iconic thing.
Here we go.
The peak.
Stand up specials aren't like that anymore. It's just not the same. I guess I think it's digital media and short form content.
What do you think of Rogan's?
Oh my gosh, you're gonna get us
To
in
put
trouble.
you on the spot.
But the Rogan got universally hated, and this is the
Poor
one
guy.
thing. But what I thought was weird is
Why
that
do you wear that color shirt? Is my
it
only
looked terrible.
question.
He's sweating like that, and the guy's got
He's lactating like a motherfucker.
$500
up
million.
there.
Put on a jacket or wear an undershirt. And listen, Joe, if he
That's how I used to look after I gave birth to Jake that weighed 10 pounds. And I'd go over there to Safeway with lactating up a storm.
well, this is what I have to say to Joe though, if he does see this. It's weird because he made fun of Brendan Schaub, is one of his best friends.
Hello.
But said his stand-up special was terrible. But then Joe used 2 callbacks and basically 2 jokes that were in Brendan's special. So it's just
That's how they do it.
It's just very weird.
I know, but sometimes you forget,
Yeah, you forget. Yeah, no, he wasn't. I don't even think he was trying to plagiarize him, but just had similar, jokes or setups to what.
But
Brendan had.
ironically, Joe got famous for calling out Buck's favorite comic, Carlos Mencia,
for stealing.
saying he's lifting shit.
It was
Yeah.
awesome. It was awesome when he did that.
It
That
was a
was
good
great.
thing.
when
That's
he
when I liked
confronted him.
Rogan.
I remember when all the comics at the Comedy Store went fucking nuts and refused to perform if Robin Williams was there.
Yeah, because he stole everybody's stuff, but didn't he
Well,
pay him?
he didn't. He didn't steal it. We didn't call it that. We called it inspired.
He did an
I don't know.
homage.
But if you would go to Robin at a certain point, you just absorb everything. And, your mind's working 10,000 miles an hour. And if anyone would go to Robin and say, hey, that's a direct lift, he'd pay him.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And there's also a thing, too, in comedy where it's not stolen. It's called hack. Like, there's some stuff that's just hack. And sometimes hack jokes work, but I don't consider that stolen.
I don't either. They're universal.
Kind of universal.
Anybody
line.
could have.
Yeah.
I like when in my day people were like, you know what? I'm going to fucking, bitch, we got a beef. And they started beef with me. I was, what's your fucking beef? I do jokes about life.
Yeah.
And it was like, especially with the women.
Oh, I bet to make it as a female stand-up comedian is 1,000 times harder than
Yeah,
a
'cause women
male.
aren't funny.
Yeah, because of the bitches.
Yeah, they're
And they're all up there. I'm gonna help every male I can help and cut every bitch's throat.
No, that's what you did.
That's how they are.
Oh, no, that's
Because
how
I'm
they
a
are.
feminist.
I thought once you
Because
made
I'm
it.
a feminist.
Well, Chuck
But
Schumer.
one thing I can't stand as a feminist is a fat, loudmouth bitch.
Well, you know who is one? Amy Schumer,
Yeah.
Chuck Schumer's niece, and she got caught stealing all of Patrice O'Neal's
Yep.
jokes. She's the biggest joke thief in the world. But there's some stuff that's
But I
hacked.
like her, what's her name is a thin model version of Amy Schumer.
Who?
Nikki Glaser.
Oh yeah,
Nikki
Nikki's
Glaser.
funny.
Yeah, she's
libtarded, but she's
well,
funny.
no, but
She's
she's Amy
funny.
Schumer on a diet with a nose job.
Yeah, she looks
She was
good.
smart. She saw an opening and
She
took
got
it.
the nose job, the fake teeth,
Yeah.
and she's
Yeah,
attractive.
she can time a joke, but Jesus Christ, I don't give a fuck about your meaty, talk-a-looking pussy.
I know that.
You're a bore. And
It's
of course
lowbrow.
they love her because she's like, dick, dick, dick. It's like, I used to, when they tried to get rid of me on there. Okay. Anyway, I want to ask you,
Mhm.
are you ever afraid you're going to get fucking fired?
Every day we're talking about the Blaze. I'm worried about it. I told this story. one of the biggest things I got in trouble for, and it was like a throwaway thing, and I've done crazier stuff than this, but at the Blaze, I went to a Nikki Haley rally, and this is when she was still trying to, run for president or, compete for the nomination. And they kicked me out immediately as soon as I walked in. And when I walked out with the staffers, like a female staffer, we're sitting outside the event. And I just say to her, I'm like, hey, when their campaign's done, what are you going to do for work? Are you considering doing OnlyFans? It was just a joke. It was a joke.
It's so funny.
They clipped it. It got like millions of hits. But in the Blaze, they stood with me the whole time. But they got really mad about that because they don't want people making fun of, people within our own tent. Nikki Haley is, conservative. She sucks. So I thought I could go after her. And
But she's a neocon.
she's a neocon. And the Blaze doesn't necessarily like neocons. I'm not saying that, but they want me to be respectful to people that come on our network, this and that. So they got mad at me
Yeah,
for that.
that's nice. You don't you can't get any guests after a while if as soon as they're off you start slitting their throats.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If you can't be kind and decent to your people that you use for your ratings, I mean, you're going to crash.
Yeah. So
Do you ever think that we're in an age where laying the mighty low through mockery is just great for us, and it's amazing that we're born now?
well, we have to use mockery. We have to mock the system back because they mock us.
Yeah, right?
They're constantly mocking us. They make us
Yeah.
feel stupid. They say it's safe and effective. They repeat these
Right.
mantras. So they're mocking us. That's why the most important thing is to
They
mock
get a
them
thrill
back.
out of it, right?
Yo,
Don't you
for-
think they do?
They're laughing behind our backs like, oh, they all got vaccinated for cheeseburgers or whatever it is. They think it's
Yeah,
so.
no
they,
shit.
they thought it was so funny when people were punching each other for toilet paper at Walmart. The people that were in power were slapping their. Look
It's
at these
like,
idiots. They're
Squid
fun-
Game. It's Squid Game.
Exactly right. It's like Squid Games. It's a Netflix show come to life. They're like, look at those
It's Squid Game.
idiots
100%.
just knocking each other out for toilet paper so they can poop.
They're
They were
betting on
laughing their ass off. Yeah, they were probably betting on it. Or it's
100%.
like Trading Places. It's such a great movie. But at the end of it, Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, when they go through, they ruin both their lives. And the guys are like, here's the bet, $1. It's not even about the money. They ruined two guys' life for $1. They don't care. They just do it for the amusement. They don't even gain anything financially. They just want to use us like puppets. And they laugh at us and they mock us. So that's why people like you, I'm not saying I'm on your level, but people like me, we try to mock the system. And that's why they hate it the most because they don't have a sense of humor.
Right.
They don't like to be made fun of.
Right.
They get
No,
butthurt.
they hate it.
They hate it. They hate it more than like being exposed for doing a crime.
Yeah.
It's really weird. They cannot stand being mocked. to
Well
their
said.
face.
No, they
dude.
can't fucking take it.
Mm-mm.
That
That's
gets
why
in their
it's so
craw.
funny. It's Monty Python level where they're like, well,
Yeah.
they cannot, they are those who cannot be mocked, or the system will be completely changed to devise your incarceration for mocking us.
That's exactly right. That's
That's why it's hard to
Fucking-
see people like John Cleese being a Democrat and liberal.
I know. I
It's
wonder
like
why
how-
it's because they did trans stuff back then about how insane.
100%. They were brilliant, but they're liberals. And it's like, what point is it going to take for the comics that are that to realize they're on the wrong side? I'm
can't
waiting.
realize it because they're stuck in post World War II mentality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
They
absolutely
don't
right.
know that the world moved on.
Yes, thank you.
They don't understand that the Jewish people were saved from that,
It's not just the Jews,
which
it's
they now
anybody.
oppose.
Well, and that's the other problem is once you become an elitist, you don't have a real connection with the middle class or the normal people. So you're out of touch
You
with
mean
reality.
humans?
With humans, yeah, with humans. I guess that's a better word. But you know what I mean? These people are so disconnected that they
The
have
useless eaters.
the useless, and that's
and
what
the
they call us.
taxpayers.
That's literally Rahm Emanuel. They called us useless eaters. I
Yeah.
mean,
About the time when I gave up hexing on people.
Bring it back. It's time to bring it back.
you might as well.
We
Listen,
need it.
It works. Isn't that weird though? Sometimes you put a hex on somebody, then their life collapses. You're like, oh, how did that happen?
well, I had to study a long time to learn how to turn a hex positive.
Mhm.
Because you don't want to cast a hex negative on nobody because it all comes back if it's negative. And that takes a lot of mental gymnastics and acuity.
What is there a revelation of method thing you could do to
I
subvert
could,
that?
and that's why I want to write a book.
Okay.
and it is called triangulation.
Okay, I'm all about triangulation.
I know,
Mm.
because I see what you're doing. So how are we going to secure, how are we going to, what needs to be done, for fuck's sake? Only the comics can solve this problem
Well, I
because
think
it's ridiculous.
Well, I think how do we fix a system? Like I was saying earlier, like we almost need the system to crash, but I'm still not rooting for the system to crash. But what I think the only way we can save each other is to save ourselves and be almost more selfish about like not trying to wake up other people, but I guess trying to find joys in life. Like it's this, it's 1 versus 1. The only battle that you're really having. This is what I think. Even though all these people are hurting us and all these people that'll blame stuff on Jews and stuff, really your biggest enemy is yourself.
That's true.
That's the only person you're competing against is yourself, is your own willpower.
It's not yourself. It's your own internal enemy.
Exactly right. Or whatever, that internal person, that internal dialogue, that's once we got to try to just take care of the things that we can control, it'll make the world a lot better instead of us worrying about stuff we can't control. And I think that's where the biggest disconnect is like, we don't even care that we're 500 pounds, but we're going to go protest for, Ukraine instead of fixing what's going on in our lives. And that's the problem that we have is that we're not taking enough accountability. We're just trying to solve other problems without fixing our own personal problem.
Well, I think it's a direct graph.
Yeah.
I wanted to do this, but nobody gets anything I ever do except for about 3 people.
No, more than that.
But I wanted to
Like
do this
5.
graph about sin I'm guilty of and nonprofit I support,
Mm-hmm.
where they meet up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get, because I was always asking, like, do I get a tax credit for helping them poor people?
No.
I always would ask that.
But they don't. I mean, no good deed goes unpunished. I would almost argue helping people almost hurt. I'm not saying don't help people, but it's weird how I've noticed that anytime I help somebody, somehow it always like hurt. That's a true saying. No
First
good deed
thing
goes
they
unpunished.
do when you help them, you'll learn this, my son,
Mm-hmm.
of your generations and such.
We get a little
Because
closer.
this is the story we're in, us Jews,
Mm-hmm.
us tribe of Jews.
Right.
This is our story, not what they're saying our story is, and their fucking horseshit that they play around with. They're cannibalization of our religion. And what do you call it?
With Kabbalah? What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about where they what do they call that thing where they ethnically
Cleanse? Eugenics.
Eugenics. Yeah, thank you.
no,
Oh,
where they assume your identity.
Avatar. I don't know.
What is it where they assume
Pod
that-
people.
No. Culturally appropriate.
Oh, yeah. Culture vulture. You can call
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
It is.
culturally appropriate your religion, your history for their Jew hating horseshit.
Mm-hmm. But that happens constantly.
Yeah, every single day now.
Well, and that's another thing is I'd like to get your opinion on this. There's a reason why white people are and this is Dr. Umar said this, and I actually did agree with it, that white people actually do, and Jewish people, there is, because of slavery, we do have a little bit of white guilt when it comes to black people, and that actually racism is not as bad between whites and blacks. But because Hispanics were never slaves, that white people were able to be mean to Hispanics easier because they don't have that natural guilt. Have you ever heard this? Anything?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but it's like that's why sometimes they
I
say,
could see that.
yeah,
That
it's
makes
just
sense.
I just know everybody hates everybody,
Yeah.
and for no good goddamn reason neither.
do we hate each other though? Like on the TV
No, but
says,
we're agitated to hate each other.
yeah, but we are. But like when I go out in these protests and stuff, the craziest protests I've been to are these pro-Palestinian protests. They don't
Oh,
want to
yeah.
speak at all. They will not even have a conversation with you. But trans people, BLM, at least at those protests, some of them will have a conversation. And the trans rallies, like the drag queen story time for kids, that's disgusting. But most of the people there they're gay and weird, but they're not. You can have a conversation with
Yeah.
them, even though we disagree.
Somewhat.
Somewhat. And I'm saying even BLM, but you go to these pro-Palestinian protests, Roseanne, I'm not trying to manifest this at all,
No, I know what it is.
but I think somebody's going to do a bomb or a mass shooting. Something really bad is going to happen, probably really close to the election.
Yeah.
At one of these.
More than one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I thought it was going to happen. Something was going to happen to the DNC.
They're deep MK Ultra.
They can't do the
They couldn't do it at the DNC.
They're
they didn't want to stay
MK
in.
Ultra bots.
Yeah,
for
that
the
really
CIA.
is.
No, they're
Mind
activated, but
control
they
victims.
backed off the DNC because they knew it would hurt Kamala.
And like it's stupid comedies like Zoolander, great comedy, but that is like these people do, and it's about.
That was pretty prophetic.
It was very how you have these. You get like a model, and you brainwash them to kill like the leader of
like
Indonesia.
Gigi Hadid.
Yeah, but that's kind of like it is, like Gigi Hadid or whatever Hadid.
Hadid.
Beyonce,
whatever.
Taylor
Beyonce.
Swift.
And it's weird how you can kind of turn these. You can MK Ultra celebrity, and you can radicalize somebody just by controlling the
Have you ever seen
algorithms.
Arab porn on the internet?
Arab porn? What
Arab.
Arab? No,
It's
kind
not
of.
real, is it?
I mean, I guess.
Oh yeah, it's real.
I've seen that Mia Khalifa girl.
Yeah.
She's an Arab. She's one of the most famous Arab porn stars.
Yeah, she was.
She's not a real Arab.
Well, that's
But
what
she's
I'm
a
saying.
fake Arab,
You
but she
can't be a
wears
real
the-
Arab and do porn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can. I've seen a lot of it.
But it's probably
Really?
it's probably
They're wearing
Jewish
the
people
whole
dressed as
thing.
Arabs because Jews make all the porn.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Have you ever seen the Chinese porn where everything's blurred? The penis and
Yeah,
vagina is
it's
blurred.
Japanese.
Yeah,
They're
that's Japanese. Chinese porn
And
is.
once you see a Japanese penis, you get why they blur it.
And so, yeah, 'cause they're small. It's supposedly like a lot of the porn stars in Japan have died because the men treat them so bad. There's been like multiple onset deaths in Japan.
They tie him up and leave him on the roof.
on a beach or something. I think that's
Yeah.
what happened. They like do a gangbang scene on a beach, and I think a girl died from.
They
like,
do a lot of that down in Arkansas too.
well,
Yeah.
that's where the Clintons are
When
from.
people are really inbred, they tend to do that, get on that lemming mind control, where they are like programmed to destroy themselves and their own families
No,
because they're too inbred.
you're right, and that's
and
why the royal family.
The experiment don't work out for the what do you call it, scientists, for the Faucis.
Well, I don't want to. I agree with you 100%. I'm not trying to call out RFK,
Really?
but don't you think it's kind of weird that RFK, like 5 different people in his own family, have that kind of speech thing? And I'm not saying it's
I
brain
saw a
worm.
lot of other people recently with it.
Yeah, but they say that could be from because
Alcoholism?
cousins. No, because like you just
Cousin
stay in your own
fucking?
bloodline, and somehow your own bloodline crosses over.
Well, Rosemary was retarded.
yeah, I
She
know.
was
Probably.
not. She was probably autistic. They say,
And then they
Whatever.
got her
took
or a
over.
lesbian, which is the sort of the same thing.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
It is though.
Well, that is true. I
It is
just saw a
true.
study, and this is a study that lesbians have the highest occurrence of migraines,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
proves dating women's a fucking headache.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could never be a lesbian. I told my fans because I'd have to beat a bitch's ass. She'd never shut up. I mean,
Hey,
seriously.
While we're on
I have
RFK,
to go, bitch. You got to shut up.
Yeah.
we cannot do this podcast that's airing this Thursday without mentioning that RFK endorsed Trump's biggest news. in the
Oh,
world.
that's
Because-
huge.
Come on,
Me
we
and
can't.
him went deep, and I
You're
seen
taking
it
credit
coming.
for it, I can tell.
I'm not taking credit. I just give all
I am.
glory to God.
Well, you did kind of expose his campaign for that bear
Yeah.
thing inadvertently.
Well,
We did it. We had RFK.
I
now it's
didn't
Trump.
do
We
nothing.
Did
God just gives me things.
it. You did a spell.
And
admit it.
I didn't. I just look. There's a spell that happened before the beginning of the world.
I did a spell on RFK.
You did something because that changed
Let's
the
take
whole.
credit. We saved the country.
Yeah.
you and
Listen,
I, on
I'm
our
telling you
podcast.
what.
It's a big
Trump
deal.
should have picked RFK as his running mate.
Fuck
though.
yes.
That's what I wanted. And Trump, I don't know, Trump.
And Trump
He's-
likes Kennedys, and so you know what I mean. He likes that.
Trump
he
has
like
bad. He's terrible at hiring people, and you know why? I know this from construction because
Yes,
the
he
people he
thinks
hired
well
were from a
of
pool
them.
of skilled people, and he assumes that's the same thing in government. It's not the same in government. He's like,
You don't know how
I'm
malevolent
gonna
they are,
blow
and
your
he
mind. You
should.
ready? When he does construction, right back when he was Trump,
yeah, building these big buildings.
he would get like, hey, this is an engineer, this is a guy, and they were the tops in their field. It was a meritocracy. So we'd hire, and then he would be like, okay, I just hired the best of the best. When you get in government, the people in positions of power are not the best of the
They
best.
suck. Yeah.
They
So
don't
he
want to
didn't
make a
figure it out.
profit because you get richer not showing a profit.
All sorts of shit, but he's
Yeah,
like, this
you're right
is the
about that.
guy. John Bolton obviously knows a lot about
Rico.
military.
It's all
Just
Rico. This
interrupting me.
government is nothing
I'm-
but a crime wave.
He hired Bolton because he thought Bolton knew a lot about the military industrial.
And Bolton did because he's been in there a
because
long
he's
time,
evil.
but he sucks.
That's
Yeah,
why
he just
Trump.
sucks.
That's the
I
problem with
love
Trump.
today. I read that Kennedy
I
called
got
it
that out.
the health industrial complex.
That is what it is.
Is that
yeah.
genius? That's the
Yeah.
greatest.
He's
That's the
absolutely
word.
right. I
That's
love
it.
Health
RFK.
industrial complex, which implicates Obama's stupid motherfucking Obama. What do they call it?
Yeah, but it doesn't
health thing.
Yeah.
You know what that was? That was a sin tax
Obamacare.
on the ill.
Well, this is I'm concerned.
God, he's so crooked. I am sick of him prancing around after a night of being whatevered by whoever
Hot
and
dogs.
prancing around.
Murdering a chef, allegedly.
And he does prance
Yeah.
with his very short manicured hair.
Well, his butt probably hurts from Michael pounding him.
I mean, it's just Barack Obama is the reincarnation of the Antichrist, I think.
He is the Antichrist.
Yeah.
I really
not giving
think.
him enough
And
credit.
Michelle is the Baphomet.
Yeah.
She's the Hulk.
She does. She looks like she plays a linebacker for the
I
Chicago
mean, when
Bears.
she's up there with those
That's mean.
fangs bared and those trapezoid things that no woman on earth has ever had.
Can you tell your Michelle joke from your act to Alex?
I say, I don't know. I say, a lot of people thinks Michelle is a man just because they saw her penis swinging on the Ellen show when they was dancing. Or when she dropped off Junior at the college and came out itching her balls.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I don't think she's a man. I think, but this is after I say she's the one that got my show canceled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's best friends with Valerie Jarrett.
Yeah. We'll finish the joke and then tell
And
the
then they
story.
called up Bob Iger, their butt boy.
Finish
Yeah.
the joke and then tell the
Uh,
story. Finish the
So
joke.
I can't remember what the joke
A
was.
lot of people say Michelle's a man. I don't think
Oh,
she's a man.
she's a woman because only a woman can be that big of a fucking
There
bitch.
you go. Okay, now you
I
can.
like
I never made fun of her when she was serving fried turds to the school kids for the school lunch.
Yeah. That food was gross. I mean,
Well, she cares about the children.
yeah, she cares about having sex with them, probably, allegedly.
Some girl on the internet says she was anally raped by Michelle Obama.
Is that's
It's
a
a
rumor?
young child.
Are we
with-
going to get our
through
YouTube
CBS.
monetization back?
CPS.
Maybe. We just want to say.
What do
if
you
you're
want to
watching
do?
this.
What would be the most offensive, horrible thing you and I could do?
Yeah, let's plan this.
Oh, I got to tell you, when
We need
I
to go
got
to
this.
Planned Parenthood and do something.
Now,
or-
listen, when
Let's
I
plan
first
this.
got my big Hollywood agent,
Mhm.
after I had my choice after the Tonight Show, and I am mentally ill, whatever. So are you, right?
Oh, mentally ill as they come. Yeah,
So,
insane.
yeah, because you had trauma
Oh, well,
your whole life, right?
yeah, I would say, yeah, my parents divorced and stuff was traumatic, but yeah, I mean, I grew up in a bail bond office, and I love my dad, but I was telling Jake, they couldn't get babysitters for me, so my dad would get the ex-convicts to babysit me that owed money because they're the only
And it
ones.
shows.
Yeah, and it showed. I'm saying, the ex-convict would be like, really bad. I mean, sometimes some of them were on drugs still, some of them were sober, but yeah, I grew up at a tumultuous upbringing a little bit.
What did the ex-cons teach you? Were they nice?
They were nice, but they would tell me about drugs. They'd tell me about alcohol. The best guy, Bobby Hart, and the only reason he was the best babysitter, there's a guy, James Baker, and he was an actual heroin user that would babysit me all the time. He was so great. They used to make me drive when I was 13 before I had a license because they'd be too messed up.
Oh my
So you got to
God.
drive me to the Jack in the Box or drive me down the street.
You're
to
like
get
Pauly
beer.
Shore.
Seriously, it's like Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad would just let me. Because he wanted to go date. My dad was single, and he wanted to go date. And my mom was the same way. Like, my mom dated and stuff. So, my dad, when they got divorced, I actually chose to live with my dad just because, I don't know, my dad,
Your mom did?
no, I did. Like, when they went to divorce, they made me, this is what I talk
Oh,
about.
that's so painful.
It was so painful. I had to go to the judge, and I had to choose. And for like 18 months, my mom didn't even want to talk to me. She was so mad. Of course, her and I fixed it. We fixed our relationship. But I wanted to live with my dad just because my dad, he kind of helped me with sports more, this and that. And I was 12. I think I
You're
finally
too
moved
young to make a decision. Unless
Yeah.
it's cutting off your genitals. You could
Yeah,
handle that.
yeah, you're definitely way too young for that.
But that's crazy. They made you pick at 12?
You made me pick, and then I picked my dad, and that caused me some heat with my mom. But then, obviously, my mom, it took like about a year. Her and I were fine after that. But my point is, when it comes to my childhood, both my parents were single, so they wanted to have a life, so they wanted to go date.
So they
So my
left you
mom
with
used to kick
heroin?
me to my dad. She'd be like, "Oh, I'm on a date. Go back to your dad's," because they lived near each other.
It's awful.
So yeah, so I was like, this is what I always say. We had the dog Primo, and my parents in a custody battle, they actually fought over the dog more than they fought for custody. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. So this is what they did in the divorce decree. They said that the dog would just go wherever I went. So I was so my mom be like, I'm going to see the dog. Send Alex. So I was raised by a German Shepherd.
Oh, that's awful.
So horrible.
No,
that's
it is.
horrible.
It's bad. I think that's why I'm so animalistic, and I'm that's why I'm like that.
That's so sad. I'm so sorry.
It's great
Yeah.
that you didn't turn into a whining pussy fucking libtard after
Oh yeah, and
all
I'm not
that
I'm not a victim at
victimization.
all. I've never wanted for anything in my life. My dad took great care of me. My mom took care of me. They let me do whatever they want. My parents weren't very strict. Maybe they should have been more strict. Maybe, but I was a captain of my football team. You know, I went to college, graduated college, so I wasn't a total fuck up. But yes, there was.
What position did you play
I
as
played defensive end at Highland Park, and then my quarterback was a guy by the name of Matt Stafford, who just
No
won.
way.
He just won a Super Bowl with with
played
the
with
Los
Matt?
Angeles Rams. Yeah, Matt
I
was
didn't
my
know that.
quarterback. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, he's going to go into the Hall of Fame. He's a great player.
No, that's so cool. I had no idea.
Yeah, so I was a good football player, but then I went and played at the University of South Florida, and I got my ass kicked so bad. The first play I ever went in practice, it was this guy, Stephen Nicholas. They called him the Snake, and he went and drafted in the 3rd round to the Atlanta Falcons. On my play, I was supposed to go block the middle linebacker. I was like, oh, I'm going to go crush him. This is my first practice play, just practice, not a game or anything. I was like, I'm going to go hit him so hard. He hit me so hard and knocked me out.
Oh no.
And then they played it, and the next day in practice, like, look at Alex Stein getting his ass kicked.
Oh no.
But I realized that I grew up, and I'm not saying I grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth, but everybody on that team, they were trying to make it to the NFL. I wouldn't play in the NFL, but I had something to fall back on. I didn't think I was going to mainly go to the NFL. It was just so much more serious that I was just trying to have fun playing high school football. Then I go to college and I'm big and tall. I think I can still play. To these guys that came from the actual mud, that came out of the most, tumultuous, way more
That's why
intense
I
than me.
love sports.
Yeah, that's why they were so much stronger. They had really been forged in fire, and it made a big difference. So,
Well, the best boxers around the turn of the century were Jewish, and then it became
and then all
blacks, and now it's kind of more Cubans. The most, what's the word?
it's the underrepresented
strongest-
minority in America becomes the boxing great.
And any sport, and now
I mean, that's like Rocky tells that story. That's the greatest.
Rocky.
I mean, I love that movie. Rocky.
that's one of the greatest movies of all time.
I mean, he's a great script writer. I'd
And you know
like
he
to
did
have
some-
him on and interview him, but I'd be distracted by his facial thing.
well, I mean, Sly is one of the best that he wrote.
He's genius.
And the fact is, how did he even get that made? Because like they wanted to put a different actor and all this stuff.
There's
and
a whole story to it.
There's a whole story, and he did end up being the main actor.
Yeah.
Like, how would a guy in Hollywood, even back then in the 70s, maybe it was 79,
He probably
or whatever,
ate a baby or something.
Yeah, it's just saying, how did he do
He
that?
had to
How
eat a
did they
baby.
give him the power to do that? Because you'd only green light. That movie won. Did
He
it win
had
Best
my
Movie?
same
Yeah.
Won Best Picture in
manager.
1978.
He had the same manager as me.
It's a badass manager.
Yeah, they were some Italian managers
No,
out
Stallone's
of
a legend.
Nashville, Italian managers.
They were based out of Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Did they mainly do music artists or
They
what?
did everything.
Yeah.
He
you
wrote
know-
Rambo too. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rambo's
Mhm.
such a great
Rambo
movie.
4 is the greatest movie ever
And
made.
They had a variety of clients, including Albert Brooks, who I love,
Yeah, he's one
all
of the
his
best.
work.
Yeah.
But, people used to have a variety of clients, not just a CIA roster of operatives.
Well, that's Operation Mockingbird, where it's all revealed that the CIA is not only in every movie, but I think we even said this last time when they wanted to use the in Tom Arnold's movies, Last Action Hero. Supposedly they wanted to make like the villains like Chinese or something, and they said Jerry Bruckheimer or whoever did that, I forget who did it. They said that they have script control, and if you want to use your actual weapons, you have to make the terrorist Muslim.
Yeah.
That in the original script, the terrorists weren't Muslim; they were like Chinese or something, and they made him change it to Muslim to try to create the narrative, the predictive programming that Muslims are bad, and we're about to have to go to war with them, and all Muslims are terrorists. Maybe they're right; a lot of them
Yeah,
are.
they were
But
right.
I'm just saying, it's just weird how they use media.
That's what it's. Look at now, social media. That's why Kamala has a
I
chance.
mean, we're all being baked.
we are.
We're being mind controlled.
Well, we're all. What is it, the frog in the boiling water?
Yeah.
We don't feel it until it's too late.
Slow
Yeah,
turn.
but comedy can crack everything open, right?
You were telling me, like, how do we fix this? How do we, like, a neighbor
We
that
got
is-
to do something so fucking funny that everyone will shit their pants.
it has to make them laugh and has to bring them happiness and joy. And that's the only way you can change a
can
person's
wake up.
mind. I think so. I mean, I know a lot of people that have come up to me and be like, "Oh, I changed my opinion because I saw how absurd it was." So it's like just putting a mirror. It's like I call it culture jamming, where I just take the most absurd parts of our culture and jam it in people's face so they can see that it's actually absurd and that it's not normal and that we live in the upside down world. And using humor for me has been the most effective tool to try to wake somebody up, if I can even wake somebody up.
Where do you think the heart of the beast is, Obama and Michelle?
Probably so. I think the Pope has something to do with this
Oh,
too.
the Pope, Obama, and Michelle. There's
Yeah,
a
I think the
whole.
Pope probably secretly worships Satan or something. And it's like how they have all the accoutrement, like the hats and all that. All that's like weird and gay and satanic, in my opinion. So it's just, I don't know. I think that like the Pope, Obama, there's probably people above Obama,
The
like you
whole
said.
New World Order.
Yeah, like the 13 families. And
Yeah.
and what they use is they use trauma-based mind control
Right,
to
they
scare
do.
us
Yeah.
into compliance. That's what they did with the pandemic. And that's why I think there's going to be something really traumatic soon. Because if you think about it,
Everybody's saying that.
yeah, because we haven't had that much trauma this year. I mean, I think
Kamala.
the Trump assassination was supposed to be the
That
trauma.
was big
Yep.
trauma.
That was supposed to be him dying, and then
Right.
everybody was supposed
Oh
to
my
just
God!
lose
Could
faith.
you imagine how we'd be if that had happened?
Civil War. That's what they
I
want.
don't. We would not be sitting here having
No.
this conversation. It would
No.
be totally the whole world would be.
They're
totally
probably going to
different.
try it again.
Yeah, I think
Thank
so.
God us Jews gave him some holy stuff to carry around in
You
his
said
pocket.
that. I know.
And we prayed on him too. Thank God for God.
Yeah.
Hey, you motherfucking Satanist. Let me introduce you to somebody you never met called God.
Well, they said that Iran had something to do with it, and you're like, is that true? But then it's so weird that this
Maybe.
Thomas Crooks, I know he's getting pings from
Thank
the
you.
FBI.
Thank you for
and-
bringing that up, because that was clearly they're behind the assassination of Trump attempt.
something.
They-
is
I
up.
100%.
They
I
wanted
don't
him.
know if they. It seems like
No, 100%.
I think Iran would want to kill Trump because Trump will bomb Iran.
Well, he had him basically broke with
Yeah.
sanctions and shit, and then Biden
there's
and
so
Obama
many
sent them
good
billions.
people in Iran, though,
They coordinated October 7th with the money from Biden and Obama.
from what they left in Afghanistan. They
That too,
proved
they
that
used those weapons
those
too.
weapons were used on it.
100%. No, that Iran
I mean,
wants
everybody's in bed with
Harris.
everybody. This is the bottom
I
line.
think
Yeah.
Harris is the trauma. I'm not even trying to
You
be funny. Let me tell you why, real quick. Because
Harris.
she's wildly unpopular. Nobody wants her. She's an idiot. But then the media was like, okay, we're going to have to go with her because Biden shit his pants on television. Now, let's see if we can fucking do a psyop on the American public where they think she's
know
the
who-
second coming of Beyonce. And they did it. She's starting to do well in the polls. That's, to me, the psyop and the trauma is like, those of us that know better are like, wait, we know she's unpopular. And now you're trying to sell her as the next great Obama or whatever. And it's working on their side. That's been traumatizing for me. I'm not joking. I haven't been sleeping. I've stayed off social media. I've told people avoid it because when you look at the polls, it's worse than if, in my opinion, than if even Trump was shot.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
I know what it is, but I've got to have
That's
a
just my
cigarette.
opinion. Well, let's wrap it up then. Or you want to keep going?
No, go get me a cigarette
I'm
while
not
I
letting you smoke in here.
don't you.
You
tell me
can't.
what
Do you
I-
guys want to be in a room with smoke?
I don't care.
They love it. They
yeah,
want
I'd love
smoke.
it.
There's-
Go
we have
get
we have a 3-month-old. This will be great. Hey, hey,
Hey,
Siri, call
Go
Hannah.
get me a cigarette.
Yeah, Paige,
I'm
go
not
get a cig.
leaving.
Go get a cig, please,
Paige
babe.
will do it.
Yeah.
She's nice.
No, I'm calling
She'll do
Hannah to bring you a
whatever.
cigarette.
Paige
so you can
isn't a Jew. She's nice.
Yeah, no, let's smoke in a house with a 3-year-old and a 4-month-old.
Shut up!
That's
Open
great.
the fucking window.
Yeah, really.
Put this in the podcast. This is the
This
best
I
part.
put this in every podcast.
Yeah, this is the
Makes
best.
me
Listen.
crazy.
I'll tell you the truth.
She can't
Tell
go.
me the truth,
Hour and
please,
15
because I
since
know
her
you
last
can't
cigarette.
lie.
Hour 15 since her last cigarette. She can't go an hour.
Why don't you blow me, chubby? You can't even go 10 minutes without the kind of booze.
Are you drunk right now?
Boom, roasted.
wish.
Now we're roasting. I love it. Now
what's
we're
in
having
that
fun.
cup
Yeah.
right there? I
Huh?
want to know. What's in that cup?
Water.
Mhm.
Mix with a
Somebody
little bit of.
took my booze. Where's my fucking booze?
No, and nobody can party as hard
There
as,
it is.
as Roseanne.
There it
She
is.
showed me that.
There it is.
Oh,
You
want
tell
more
me that
booze,
you
too?
couldn't party harder than Chris Farley.
No.
There's no way.
I would pass out
Yeah.
and thinking I was big time. Then the next day at 10 a.m.,
Mhm.
he'd show up,
Still awake from the night.
still going. That's when I was young.
That's just crazy.
That guy would get possessed by angels. Possessed by angels of creative, whatever.
Yeah.
People were just coming in and out of him, and he would recreate like memories of people he stored away that he wanted to mock or
Recreate. Yeah.
you know.
Because he could always do like
He'd
a
remember
coach.
a teacher.
Yeah.
It would just come to life.
He was brilliant. I mean, but his party lifestyle of him, was he the hardest partying guy you ever dealt with, or who else partied in Hollywood like that? I mean, who else had to overdose? Robert Downey Jr. came back from his.
Yeah.
Was Chris
Remember
Farley?
when he ended up in someone else's bed? Like
Yeah,
some
that was
fucking
weird. I
kid?
think he went to jail for that. He went to somebody's house. But
Belushi.
I just think, it's just, obviously you've known like all the heavy hitters.
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen. Yeah, what do you think about Charlie Sheen? I liked how he came out. He said 9/11 was an inside job. I like, he likes Alex Jones. I like some of his politics, but his daughter's on OnlyFans. I think that's kind of weird.
He tried to kill his girlfriend a couple times, so I don't
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, I think what they think so much. I think what they do to the men, you can't even talk about. There's one thing what they do to the girls and the women, but Christ, what they do to the men, you can't even.
Corey
fathom.
Feldman said that it was Charlie Sheen that raped Corey Haim on the set of
Oh, yeah.
Lucas.
Oh yeah. Charlie Sheen has to do gay stuff because he had
100%.
AIDS.
No,
yeah.
he was molesting the
Yeah.
children. So
Yeah.
I don't like. After I found out that, I loved his meltdown.
No, yeah, this is the thing. I love him in major leagues. Like, I like him as an actor. I like how he's like awake, but you can tell there's something sinister. And the fact that
Well, that's how they make the actors.
Well, he's Martin Sheen's kid. He grew
Yeah,
up in Hollywood.
of
Of course, he was
course.
doing horrible shit as a young kid.
but it just doesn't make sense of how he's a wealthy person like that, and his daughter Sammy Sheen is selling her vagina on OnlyFans.
Why
think it
not?
makes perfect
Everything's
sense.
for sale.
I guess, but
It's
I mean,
Hollywood.
Denise
This
Richards.
is the glitter life, baby.
I want mom to do OnlyFans. We're working on it
wanna
right
do
now.
Oh, you might as well. That would you could make $1 million a month probably.
Easy.
Not with my sagging labias.
Well, no, you charge by the pound.
Oh, there we go. Boo.
Ah. When I expose these sagging labias,
Second labia.
you know how they always say old men's balls falls into the toilet?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yeah,
true.
same with the women.
All right. I think that's. What were you saying though? You were talking. You got mad at me for the.
No, we
You were saying
said,
something.
what's the worst insult we could do to these stupid
Yeah,
fuckers?
let's
Yeah,
figure out how
I
to
mean-
beat
Because
'em.
they're elitist fucks. They don't give a shit about nobody but themselves, and they don't want to get in trouble. We're all going over and drinking baby blood on Epstein Island.
They do not want to get
That's
exposed
our
for that.
summers. We summer. You know, they always say we summer.
In the
And we
Hamptons,
winter. We summer in the Epstein Islands drinking adrenochrome from babies that we then sell their body parts to Bill Gates from McDonald's.
There's
Wow.
a character you guys should work on. She
Yeah.
wants to do something with you. We
have to go do something. We need to
We
go
said
do
this
something.
last time. We really
Like,
have to.
we got to come up with an
But we
idea.
have to say what?
I know, but you need to go. We need to go do something in Austin or
Well, what
something.
about-
I
when-
want to dress up like a crazy homeless.
That would be hilarious. And talk about how they're giving social services
Could
to
you give me
immigrants.
some fucking money? I entertained you on TV for decades.
That would be so
That's my
funny if you
dream
acted
is-
like you're destitute. That would
Yeah.
be the most viral thing
Yeah.
Could
ever.
you give me a
Cancel.
fucking dollar, you motherfucker?
And then you call out Valerie Jarrett and Michelle Obama. You know, you guys lost me my job on the #1 show, and that would go.
I'm in the middle of my transsexual surgery.
Were you
Yeah.
guys talking earlier about how you were going to go back to being a Democrat? That
No,
was good.
that's where you
Do
have
that.
to do.
But I am, because I said that.
Let's flesh
I
this out.
kind of maybe left the Democrat Party early because I thought, well, if they're going for aborting the live babies, maybe next year they'll be for aborting them up to age 52, and then I won't have to have an insurance. These are gigantic insurance policy payments I make every year if I just abort all my kids now,
Yep.
right?
Yes, I think the abortion thing.
But I think with
Illegal
T-
immigrants. How are we going to get our lawn? How are you going to get your lawn mowed?
Well, especially the child labor. Who's going to watch my kids? My grandkids? Who's going to raise them? If it's not, oh my God! If you go to these rich people's house and see what goes on, it was that was more demoralizing to me than anything I've ever seen in my life. Rich people's house in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Well, that's the problem, and you've had like super financial successes. Like trying to keep up with the Joneses is the most futile thing Because there's
Oh,
always,
but it's fun for a while.
of course, no, everybody wants to have
Buying
money.
16 dinette sets.
That has to be the most fun thing in the world.
It was so fun.
They're buying furniture for multiple houses. I bet
I
that's the
know,
most fun
it was
thing.
so fucking fun.
Yeah.
It all ended up to be Costco, but oh well.
Ooh, Costco's great.
Mhm.
Have you seen the Costco family? You don't even know about the Costco
No,
family.
what about them?
Double chunk chocolate cookie. There's a family that's famous, and all they do is go to the Costco and eat at the food court, and they're super famous.
That's cool. My granddaughter, you know what she calls it, Maisie? Let's go to Costco and get our lady snack.
What does that mean, ladies' snacks? Is
Lady
it-
snacks where you get the free snacks.
Oh, because it's always ladies handing it out. I can't believe you haven't seen the Costco dad.
I'm looking at right now.
Have you not seen him either?
Mm-mm.
These guys who go double chunk chocolate cookie, and it's his dad and this fat kid that I looked exactly like I was a fat kid, just like this kid growing up, and they're just kind of like, you know, middle America, or that's what they're trying to represent. But I think that's the biggest problem too.
You were a fat kid?
Oh, of course, I played football, but you know what I mean. Like, show this kid. He's not obese, but he's just a chubbier kid.
What do I call? What do I search?
It's
Being
type
a
in
fat
Costco.
kid's the worst fucking oppression
Costco
on
family.
earth.
Oh, it's the worst. I
It's
got
worse
bullied.
than any kind of ethnic
And
oppression.
I had a high voice. I used to say, "You're Mickey Mouse" when I was in like second or third grade.
Oh,
Do you
no.
people?
Yeah,
Oh, that's horrible.
They're on TikTok. They got 1 million people on TikTok. Look at their TikTok.
Are these them?
Yes, that's the dad.
We're a Costco family.
How many of these things are you gonna eat?
It's a double chunk chocolate cookie.
It's so stupid. This is
Where
all they
is
do.
it?
Of course we had to try out the new furniture. Get your feet off it there. We're a Costco family. He's not the only one that can lift these tires.
It's Roseanne and Dan.
Yeah, it's
We're a Costco family.
It's
I
horrible.
demand a percentage of their
they
wages.
stole
I thought
you.
that
They
was
stole your idea.
awful.
Whatever.
But they have millions of followers. They've
course
blown
they
up,
do.
and
Of
they
course
just
they do.
they just do
That's
stupid
cool. A
It's
Costco family's
idiocracy.
cool.
Yeah.
I know everything good to buy at Costco. Like don't buy the steaks that are browner because they've been sitting there too long.
That's a good note.
I
That is.
know
I
that.
think that's a
Get
good.
the red or pinker meat.
You know, they say the red in the meat though is a dye. That's not actual blood.
Well, you
Really?
don't want the blood. You
Yeah.
want blood free. That's why you don't want the dark because that's settled blood. You don't want that for your family.
Yeah, you're right about that.
You know, that's why I just go out hunting and bag me a deer or a goat or
See, that's the best.
cow.
That's the best meat possible.
It is.
Even these meat, you know, even the we get this meat. Have you seen those videos too, where they show fruit the banana can bend? You know, it's like fake fruit. That there's
It is.
all the food that we're
It's
getting.
GMO.
All the food we're eating is garbage. I don't
Mhm.
know what the hell we're gonna do. They say we have
We're
micro.
going to have to start eating each other like Soylent Green is people.
Yeah, but Soylent Green. Then we're still eating all the nasty
Yeah, you are what you eat.
microplastics. Yeah,
You're
I mean,
eating
we're
I
bad
know,
screwing
but
people.
that's the McRib is human meat.
and it's
human
delicious. And
spam.
it's delicious.
It is good. Soylent Green is good
Yeah.
and so good for you. And adrenochrome is good. That's why I want to be a Democrat because my skin is, what did I say?
It's a lot clearer and
Yeah.
tighter.
Oh yeah, you get
Decidedly
the Bort
different.
late, you get the adrenochrome for your skin. You don't have to. What else was the other?
You get a
stuff?
free trip to Epstein Island every
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't have to worry about going to jail for committing a crime
I
at
can
all.
do anything I want and I'm above the law while
Yeah.
I say no one is above the law. And I have a democracy of having no democracy.
Yep.
Because they're destroying democracy when they ask for democracy and no democracy.
They just kicked Cornel West off Pennsylvania ballot.
Well, they did.
Cornel West, Jill Stein, RFK, the party of saving democracy.
Wait, Jill Stein got kicked off.
They're
the ballot?
trying to kick Jill Stein and RFK.
I hope they
yeah.
kick Jill
The
Stein.
Democrats are doing
But she's
it.
been running for
fucking
president.
doctor's
No, but my
ass.
point is Democrats are like, this is going to siphon our votes, so let's just kick them off the ballot. That's the party saving
Yeah, we
I
know-
knew that
we
was
know-
coming.
Yeah, we know it's rigged. I mean, Kamala Harris didn't get one vote.
No.
I mean, they just chose her, and she just got to be.
They
the-
had to. She wouldn't have passed. She's one of the worst candidates ever. She's worse than Biden.
She's the total token.
She's only going to get 150 million votes, I think.
Did you
at
ever
3
deal with
a.m.
Gavin Newsom when you were in California before? I mean, we know he slept with his assistant's wife, and he's
Yeah.
always been a scumbag. But did you
And his
ever?
wife slept with Weinstein.
Well, he's
yeah.
Nancy Pelosi's nephew.
Yeah.
You know, and Pelosi goes back to what's his name from Baltimore.
the Baltimore crime family.
Yeah, she's from a crime family.
The
Like
Bidens
Biden.
of Baltimore.
Yeah, there's a guy on Twitter that he only follows her stock market picks,
Yeah.
and he's up.
Stock trader.
Yeah, stock trader, and he's up like 3,000% or something on his
Yeah, I
investment.
follow this. Nancy.
She's the
Pelosi's
greatest of
stock
all
trader.
inside traders.
She's the best. She's the best.
No,
stock
she's
trader.
just really good. She just knows
But
what's
when
gonna happen.
she's like doing an interview and she's all drunk and the reptile in her comes out and she's like,
Immediately, and her eyes
she
look
can't
weird.
hold the human frame and her eyes get really big like that Adam Schiff realtor look. And AOC has it too.
The MK Ultra eyes.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
eyes look weird.
The reptile thing.
Well, we don't even realize like they'll approve a company that can do all the government lights in a city, and they'll go invest in that company before they approve it. You know what I mean? Like companies that we don't even know.
And then they'll have a CrowdStrike blackout.
That's what's going to happen. I think they're
I
going to.
think so too.
She says there's no election. She's got money on it with Malice on Tim Pool.
They're going to hack us, or they're going to do something.
They're already hacking us all over the world. They're hacking every grid.
And you said
and
that
that's what they're going to say, so they don't, because they're not going to get the paper ballot.
And they're
not going to get the mail-in ballot.
Well,
so
they're
that's
legally
what they'll
allowed
do.
to hack us because we have the Patriot Act. They can look
Right.
at, they can spy on
Mhm.
us legally. So
I think there's going to be a jihadist attack.
yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I think there's going to be some
My
sort of
money's on that.
Palestinian
Yeah.
Where
blow
there's
up.
cells everywhere in America.
No, they're going to blow up. It's going to be really bad. It's going to be
gonna
worse
be
than
bad.
9/11 in every major city.
Yeah, it'll just.
I'm telling you this.
Jihadist coming.
I'm turning it back on itself, and I can do that today.
Let's pray.
It's not going to happen. None of their weapons formed against us is going to work. You know, all their shit's going to go down. Space Force will download it all.
I hope so.
People who are smarter than them know what they're doing. They already got them in best. They're bested.
I hope so.
Be
I hope
best.
so.
The best is yet to come, and it did come, and they're bested.
Should we go eat?
It's time to eat some dinner. What a
But
podcast.
you are so wonderful. I don't even know what we talked about.
We talked about a
Everything.
lot, but I'm not as wonderful as you. And
But
every
I'm going to
time.
say, I know that you are working real hard to do your part for saving our country. And I really salute you for it. Because
Wow.
I know what your heart is, and I love what you do.
Well, I really appreciate that. And not trying to kiss your butt, though. It's just an
Go
honor.
ahead.
I know, but it's an honor and privilege. I would not even ever thought that I would be sitting in a room in Roseanne's house talking to you. And the fact that I've become good friends with Jake, it's almost,
Twice.
yeah,
you've
it's
been
been,
here.
it's very, twice. I'm just saying it seems surreal, but at the same time, reality is stranger than fiction. So let's see what's in store. We just need to keep mocking the people in power and see.
You know what I say? Let's roll.
Let's roll. 9/11, baby.
And let's
Yeah,
have a
baby.
plan real quick. If Kamala does get inserted,
Oh, God.
we need to, because if Trump wins, we're all going to be
If
happy.
Trump wins, it's going to be a civil war. And if
Yeah.
Kamala
Yeah.
wins, it's going to be a civil war.
See, that's what I'm saying. I want Trump to win. I think Trump wins. It might even be worse.
It's going to be worse.
Or it just might be accelerated. The same outcome, but it'll be an accelerated outcome.
But we need a plan.
Let's just ask God to step in and have it be a smooth transition to power through the people's will in
love
the fact that they would have access to the information that people in our government don't care if they live or die. In fact, prefer that they would die and in suffering so they can make a profit on their treatments and sending their children to war because they would prefer to have them killed than to give them a future job with benefits,
Well said.
Mhm.
which they also could do, but, they don't give a shit.
I've been praying every
And
night.
let's just pray that God hears us
Mhm.
and He lets His intelligence descend to this stupid sphere and lights it up.
Yeah, it's time. God, we need God now.
We need you, God. Come on down
Dude,
here.
we trust you.
Yeah.
We trust you. Even if Kamala wins, I know this is your plan.
Well, I think in the battle of good versus evil, good wins.
Of course,
always.
it does always.
All right. Well, let's pray for that.
And God is good.
God is good.
So you